commentary and the new releases. I put them hours in to get the play on. Don't be scared, destroy you when I'm down. If you ain't keep your head down, suck ass babies, put the switch up. Here enough for what I'm bringing a new release. Them hours in to get prepared now. Play on expert level. Don't be scared now. When I'm forza, if you ain't tuned into that down.
And
Here
I'm
we
not, I'm not gonna up and leave if they make a new console. Like I'm gonna stick around it because their whole point of all of this is to make it easier to play everything everywhere.
That's right.
So if that's their whole point, then why would I then leave and make it more expensive for myself to then be able to play said things?
Indeed.
So if there is a PlayStation 6, would I rather spend $500 and then have to pay $70 every single time? Or am I just going to invest in the Xbox and maybe get the PlayStation as well, but then have a subscription service where I'm playing a ton of different games on one console, and the other one is literally it's literally the same situation that I kind of got going on already.
Right.
So
like nothing changed. It's the only thing that changed is my next door neighbor that tells me that I need to just get a PlayStation and screw off can play the same game that I'm playing now. That's literally all that changed.
So I wanted to say we're officially live now.
Yeah, we've been live for like 90 seconds, 2 minutes.
I wanted to let you get that off, and I mean that was fine because that's your true feelings, and I know you're going to repeat it when you get your chance to talk about that. So it worked out.
That was sneaky.
Hey, listen, I tried to interject, but it was like I couldn't. I was like, you know what? Let me let my brother.
There was emotion.
Had to let you get that off.
Fine. I mean, it's my true feeling, and I'm not going to change now that we're live. Oh, I mean, praise Xbox. No, it is like, or the other way around. Fuck Xbox. Like I'm not gonna go there. Like it just is kind of what it is. I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't love it, and it's clearly out of a fan's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But
consumer,
yeah, clearly at a consumer's perspective. Like when I, just like a football team, right? I go to the games. Oh, like why did the athletic coordinator get this coach? Now every time I pay to go to a football game, I got to see this coach do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm still paying to go to the games, right? Because I go to my Nebraska football games. Sometimes I go to the Kansas City games when I want to see them get beat. But like, it's no different than that. So when I see them make a bad move, I'm like, God, that was stupid, and I don't like it, and I'm not sure where this direction is going to go. But somehow, 5 years later, my program that hasn't really got a lot much better, being Nebraska, actually more like 20 years, I'm still a fan. After 20 years of failure, I'm still a fan. And that's kind of the way I look at this. Like, I'm still going to be an Xbox fan. I've spent thousands of dollars in this, and who am I to be like, I don't want to look at this anymore, even though I have incredible games in this lineup, and the service is still the best service out in gaming.
True.
The only thing I don't like is that, other people can play the same thing, but at the same time, that's like me saying, I don't want you at my park. Don't come to my park.
You ain't welcome around these parts.
They're on the swing while I'm using the slide, and I got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't affect me, but I'm letting it affect me.
I think the big difference between sort of the sports analogy and what's going on here is that with the sports analogy, if they don't like, it's basically just you win the game or you don't win the game. Whereas in this, it's like we're playing a different game, and they're winning it, and they're winning it pretty fucking hard. Like objectively, if you look at the numbers of like how the businesses are doing, Xbox's numbers in every area except hardware are shooting up through the roof.
So
and
true.
PlayStation are dropping like a satellite from orbit. So it's like we might not, like, I don't know, we're kind of stuck in this old head mindset of like, but what about my exclusives? And they're like, what about your exclusives, dude? Like, we're doing great, actually.
And that leads me to the start of this show, and we'll get back to this. And I would say, just to point out, the reason why I let you cook anyway, Ham, is because I know that you're genuine and you're going to say what you feel. Even later on, it's not going to change because you're live. So that's why I didn't interrupt you. If I felt that it would compromise you, I would be like, yo, I would have cut you off. But just to show the audience, Ham is Ham. He's going to be him, but whether he's on air or not. And this is why I prefer to have people like him. And this is why I rock with Danny. And anybody you see me pull myself close to is because I feel they are genuine people. It's not always the case. There have been 2 missteps that I can think of in particular, who I won't name. But in general, we've weeded them out, as Danny knows. But in general, I tend to keep myself around, genuine people. And so I know you're going to repeat what you said and probably put more on it to really sell what you feel. But starting...
I awkwardly appreciated that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think everybody would have loved that, but I appreciated that. So thank you.
Yeah,
Let everybody know that I ain't no cap over here.
Ain't
man.
no capping.
What I'm doing, man.
No capping over here. And I wanted to welcome everybody to the show. Thank you guys for being here. For those who might come later, thank you for coming by.
Where's the other guest?
Well, we're waiting for him now because Post is...
Why anytime I've ever been on a podcast with Post Up,
Yeah.
every single time, that brother is on that time.
Mm-hmm.
He's always on that time.
He's on that time. I mean, to be fair to him, we are in Chicago, so they got the DNC here right now. So he might be restricted because he is downtown where he works.
He's on a watch list.
Watch the next time you invite him, the RNC is going to be in town.
Nah.
They never
come
won't
here
happen for another 4 years.
Yeah, the RNC would never.
I'm literally driving behind the president right now. I'm
gonna be there, brother. But hey, I see Biden and I see George W. Bush waving at me. No, I'm joking.
George Bush is at the DNC.
He'll be at the RNC now.
That's crazy.
Actually, I don't know.
Outside.
Bush just might be at the DNC. Actually, I could see him siding with them.
Point.
Yeah. But that said, welcome everybody.
No morals out there, man.
Hey, listen. Country before party, they say, right? But
Sure.
yeah, welcome everybody to The Fix. You're here with your host, Infinite Umbra. I'm joined by my co-host, co-star, Daniel J. McGee.
Welcome in, everybody. Rolling start.
Yeah, exactly. See, I'm curious. See what Bush is probably going to endorse here. I wouldn't doubt it, actually. If Bush did, he seemed to have an affinity for the Obamas and such. So I wouldn't be surprised. But that said, we are joined here tonight by our illustrious guest, great content, great community, great Ham Solo from TSWS Gaming and many podcasts. Because Ham, how many podcasts do you run right now?
Well, I mean, I'm only doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my own personal channel, and like on Thursdays I'll play football on there, and Loke will play some football manager, which is soccer, on Tuesdays. But yeah, I mean that's what we do over there. I'm not part of GRG with K Meg anymore. We're still boys, but I took it back off on doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. I was doing a little bit of writing for lordsofgaming.net as well.
Oh, nice.
Top ad as well. I just kind of like wanted to focus in more on myself and also kind of like back off on all the, because I don't know, I was getting riled up. I was
Yeah.
getting riled up with all this like console stuff and whatnot, and arguing King Thrash and all that stuff. And I had to take a step back and reevaluate some stuff. And I was like, this isn't fun anymore, man. So like,
Yeah.
I had to like kind of re-innovate. I took a month off, kind of, and then came back feeling good. And now I'm just kind of doing stuff regular at my pace, and more proud of what I'm doing than what I was falling into towards
A month
then
ago.
before the month thing. Yeah.
And that's a good thing. It's good to kind of find that place where
Reflection,
you
man.
say, reflection, and you get to contemplate and think like, hey, let me change some things up. We've all done it, or at least we should. Hell, I might need to step away from Twitter sometimes. I get into too many, especially I noticed during, especially like major election season. I tend to see a lot of racism pop up on Twitter, unfortunately, and I get sucked into that. I have to pull myself back. But that aside, I think when you have to refocus and fall back, learn to fall back for some things. That's a good thing. Stepping away from
Seeing you in those spaces though with the doctor.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be some crazy ass conversations that be going on in there though. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I see why you're going in there, because it is.
I looked at one that you were in the other day, and I had like 7 people in that bitch blocked. I was like, I don't know how you put up with these people. I don't bother.
Yes.
I'm
Some
talking
of
about
them.
like the Dr. Nasheed or
Tariq Nasheed.
yeah, Tariq Nasheed. I've been in. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking. The gaming spaces are always crazy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the like IRL shit.
Mhm. Yeah.
That gets out of pocket.
It does get out of pocket, and a lot of the things, some of the things I agree with him, on, and some of the things it's like, okay. And I listen to him often. He does. I listen to him often because of just humor, and he'll start like roasting some of the people that'll talk trash to him. He gets a wide variety, from white supremacists to like Africans who don't like him and things like that, and who he said things they felt is discouraging to Africans. It's actually kind of hilarious after a while, but no, it definitely gets wild. But like pulling back again, like away, and kind of jiggering, as they would say, your purpose is a good thing. And you can get burned out, man, doing all those things. I remember a time when I was doing all these different podcasts, guesting on things, and my friends could tell you I was jumping into I was doing like 6 or 7 podcasts a week, it felt like. And not even felt like, it was like, even this week I have a few. I was on Booms, I got mine here. I have PTKs this Saturday, and then I'm supposed to go back to Infinite, I think Sunday. So like I was doing that routinely.
You working about as much as me now. There you go.
Yeah, so like doing it like that, like you were with all those different podcasts and shows, I can understand how it starts to make you feel kind of burned out. And you say you were doing Lords of Gaming, writing for them and stuff like that. Like, yeah, man, that's tiring. And it takes away from your game time too. Like, how can you really, get out there and enjoy yourself as far as gaming goes when you're doing all of that? You know what I mean? So I get it, 100%. That said, let me properly give Danny his intro and ask what he's been up to for this housekeeping session. Danny, what have you been up to, my man? And watching, playing, what have you been up to?
Really only 2 things. First up, saw that Borderlands movie.
Oh, you saw that.
You paid for that, didn't you?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we waited for Tuesday because Cinemark got $5 movies on Tuesday. And it's about the right price for it. Is it bad? Yes. Is it as bad as people say? Probably not, because some people are going really crazy. But it is like, the only reason that it's not the worst movie I've seen this year is because a movie called In a Violent Nature came out also this year, and that's like offensively bad.
Like,
it's bad to the point. It's bad to the point where it's like, this movie should not have been made, and the people who made it should probably be looked at. Because if you don't know what it is In a Violent Nature is a movie. It's a slasher movie from the perspective of the killer, but what that means is that like 2/3 of the movie is this dude just walking through the forest, with nothing happening and no music.
Oh, wow.
It's a terrible movie. It's like embarrassingly bad. And this one is embarrassing and bad, but not embarrassingly bad.
I'm looking at it now. IMDb has it at 5.6 out of 10.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably too high. I think it's because the only people who would see a movie like that are the kind of people who would appreciate some kind of like just really dumbass take on, like, I don't know, almost like an artsy movie, but made in the stupidest way possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Borderlands. So the thing about Borderlands is that every single character in it is super duper annoying and the plot is non-existent, which in some ways makes it like incredibly accurate to the game. And in other ways makes it not fun to watch. Truly, the only reason I had any fun watching the movie was because I saw it with some of my best friends and we were making fun of it the whole time, which again is pretty accurate to the game, because I feel like if you played Borderlands 1 by yourself, you're not going to have a good time. But if you play it with friends and you're just kind of screwing around, that's a good time.
Yeah.
So
I guess it's
weirdly,
fair. Yeah.
even though the movie's terrible, it's pretty accurate to the experience of playing Borderlands.
Lore accurate movie.
It's a vibe accurate movie. Yeah.
There you go.
There's a couple of things in it that like really annoy me. Like, it's pretty clear that none of the people in the movie want to be in the movie. It's pretty clear that like the person who made the movie didn't really know or care at all about what the game was. They swap out characters for like no reason. Like they put Krieg, the DLC character from 2, as one of the like vault hunters in this, and he has the exact same relationship with Tiny Tina that Brick has, and acts the same way that Brick does, but just like slightly more unhinged. And it's like, you could have just put Brick in there. You could have just done that, and then it would have been closer to like what the first movie is, or first game is rather.
What did you feel about Kevin Hart being there
as Roland?
Roland, yeah.
So he doesn't really do a ton. To be honest with you, he's not in a lot of the movie. There's like 2 extended periods of the movie where he's like, I'm gonna go do a thing, and then we don't see what that thing is, and he comes back and he's like, I did it. So he's really like not in a ton of it. He is, however, probably like one of the better parts, because he's just kind of like sincere. Like, he comes in and he's like, I'm just the action guy and I'm gonna do action guy things, and that's pretty cool. I forget her name right now, but the woman playing Lilith, I think, is terrible, like genuinely terrible, because she doesn't want to be there.
Jamie Lee
she's
Curtis. Or wait, not Lilith. No,
she's
Lilith.
playing
You're talking
Tannis.
about Tannis, yeah.
What's her
My
name? What was her name? Lady
Really,
that played-
Lilith was the worst, the main character.
Yeah, she
the
was
one with the
terrible.
red hair, right? The one that played
Yeah.
on Thor. What's her name? What is her name?
I forget the name right now. I've spaced on it.
Yeah.
The problem is not that she's a bad actress, because I think she's actually a really talented actress. I think it's just that she doesn't care and she doesn't want to be there. Kate Blanchett, thank you.
There
Poppy.
you go. Yeah.
She didn't. She very clearly didn't want to be there, and also she's like 60 years old, and they keep treating her like she's this like
Spring
like
chicken.
First of all, it's like she keeps. They don't treat her like she's a spring chicken, but they treat her like she's this like badass action woman, and it isn't. And then they act as though Jamie Lee Curtis's character Tannis is like her mom's friend, and that she's like almost like her godmother, and it feels really weird because you look at it, and even though Kate Blanchett is, I think, like 10 years younger than Jamie Lee Curtis, and she has red hair, and Jamie Lee Curtis's Tannis has been given gray hair to presumably look older, they look like they're the same age.
Oh wow.
And if anything, the fact that she has the red hair like makes her seem older than Jamie Lee Curtis. And I don't know how to describe that.
I don't know why Tannis needed to be that old looking anyway.
Yeah.
I think literally it was just we cast Jamie Lee Curtis because she wanted to be in it.
Is Jamie Lee Curtis basically? Yeah.
Yeah, and
That whole movie just doesn't need to exist.
no, it's really
It makes
bad.
me kind of angry that it came out. Like, I'm waiting till it comes to the subscription service so I can hate watch it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm definitely going to hate watch it. But yeah, I just the casting of the movie, the the seriousness, the level of action, the rating that it like not the rating that people gave it like as a
Yeah.
critique, but like the rating of it being a PG-13 movie. Like just all of it just screamed like we don't want to
Yeah.
do this, but we're doing it anyway.
I mean, I'll level with you.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie being rated R would have helped it. I think that its problems are so much deeper than there wasn't enough like the violence wasn't good because the direction was just bad. Like even the action scenes that we got, which I mean there were a lot, it's
Even more
pretty much an action
disappointing.
movie. We're just like okay, there's at one point in the movie, I think the script writer went and we're gonna do a hallway fight like Old Boy. And the director said, you cast two 60-year-old women, a short comedian, and a child. What do you want me to do with this?
He said, make cinema.
He said, what am I supposed to do with these pieces?
It
And
it
so
literally
looks awful.
sounds like the way you're describing it after watching it and everything. It sounds like a parody.
It feels like a parody.
Yeah.
If they were hotter, it would have felt like a porn parody. Unfortunately, honestly, I might have rather seen the porn parody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that might have been more fun.
That's fun.
And the other thing I did this week is I finished Persona 5 Tactica. It's been kind of just like sitting in the backlog for a while, and I finally circled back around and like played it and finished it. And I wasn't feeling it at first. I think it's a really, really slow start. But damn, is it a good game. That game's a lot of fun.
Nice.
It's got one of the most fun reveals of any Persona game that I've played in a long time. And it's not always fun to play the game. Like, it gets pretty repetitive, and I think it's probably about 10 hours longer than it needs to be.
I've never actually played any of the Personas yet.
You should. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I got. I'm in the terrible part that, like we talked about many times, is I have a crazy backlog of different games to get to, and it's like holding me off from getting to other games. That's the terrible part about it. But
yeah, but it's a fun game.
But it was good.
I definitely recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're into like, I don't know, Fire Emblem or XCOM or any of those like grid strategy games, this is a good version of that. It's not like the best version of it, but the music and the art style and just sort of the story, I think, cover up for some pretty generic strategy gameplay, and make it just like it's like a 7.5/8. Like it's a good to great fun game,
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good to me.
I enjoyed it.
And moving on to our guests, although we covered a bit of what you were saying. What have you been up to, Ham? Tell the good folks what you've been up to, what you've been playing, etc., etc.
What I've been up to, making content for the most part. Also had my birthday. Got to review. Yeah, I appreciate that. It was back on the 5th, so it was a few weeks ago. But I got a pair of X-Real Air 2 Pro glasses after interviewing Ralph Jodice. He sent me a pair. And I got to review those, which is up on my channel as well. So I've been playing around, screwing around with those. As for games that I've been playing, obviously college football, I talked about that a little bit. Quite a bit of NBA 2K because I play that with friends. Mostly as of lately, I've been playing the crap. Just as of like, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I think it was yesterday. Damn, man, like I don't even remember. My days are running together. It might have been the day before, actually. Starfield, like crazy, because they got the vehicle back in that sucker, and I tell you what,
man,
phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Oh, you tried it out already? You tried it out, the new vehicle and everything?
Big time.
Nice.
Big time. So like, yeah, I've been playing the absolute crap out of it. I love the game. I loved the game before it had that. So now that it does have a vehicle, it's just even crazier. I started building an outpost. The game looks, great already on my Xbox. I've been playing it on my PC as well. Man, it's just a lot better. It's a way better experience.
That's dope, man. So with me with it when it comes to Starfield, I was just talking about this with some buddies. I am going to mod the hell out of that game once Shattered Space drops. So I was on a Nexus, and I actually pay for their monthly, subscription or whatever it is now. And I do it because you can more quickly download, a wide.
All the nude mods. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
Yeah.
Danny gets it. So I get all the adult mods immediately. No,
Get
but
the one that turns all the characters into anime girls.
see, and then they
I
start.
see. Yeah.
Then they start like
Alright.
doing little peace fingers at me, like peace. I'm like, well, I don't know what that means, but I like it. But so you have, like, for instance, I installed the Novus mods to Skyrim, and that's 2,000 mods. Now that would take forever if you did it manually. Yeah, but if you use Nexus, and through the Nexus mod, it takes like maybe 15, 20 minutes, and it's
2,000 mods.
2,000 different mods.
You can't just put that in a zip folder or something for me. You gotta put them. You gotta upload 2,000 separate mods.
It's a lot. And it changes Skyrim so dramatically, and it looks so good on this PC. You have no
It
idea.
just turns it into Call of Duty at that point.
I know, right?
It's just a different game.
I'm playing Call of Elder Scrolls, but so I looked up some mods on Nexus, and if you all get a chance, check that out. They have Star Wars mods on there. It looks crazy. I'm talking about Mandalorian. I'm talking about the Stormtroopers, the Sith. You see spaceships and things like that you can create and build inside the ship creator that are from Star Wars. It is so overly detailed. The entire world is changed to reflect of Star Wars. It's like, I don't know how these people are this talented to do that, but I'm going to do it. I promise. And it's like a 10-something gigabyte download to get for the mods, but it's going to be so worth it. And they even have like the Land Cruiser, whatever, the what do they call that thing in Star Wars? I'm just gonna say Land Cruiser for now, instead of the new rover. Yeah,
Speeder.
I think it's something speeder.
Land speeder.
Is it Land Speeder?
I think it might be.
I cannot remember.
You talking about the one that Luke drives?
Yeah. What is the name of that? The Star Wars heads in the chat.
I'm pretty sure it's called the Land Speeder.
Land Speeder. They have that in there, whatever that thing is. So they have all that. It's insane, man. So I feel you on that. I'm definitely going to get into that soon.
Actually, it's the X-34 Land Speeder.
Yeah,
that
the Land
got
Speeder
from Uncle Owen.
Actually,
Wikipedia.
Nice. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get into that. I feel you on that 100%. Have you tried anything else, or has just really been that for you, Ham? Yep. You still there, Ham?
Or are you talking about Skyrim?
Yeah, no, for
Starfield.
That was the only thing you've been playing lately. Is really that? I know you had played. You were playing some
Mafia. I beat Mafia.
Nice.
I think it was like last week. The definitive edition. I've been playing Mafia 2 as well. I'm probably about a third of the way in that game, I think.
Is this your first time playing any of them, or?
Yeah. This is my first time playing. Well, I mean, I owned Mafia back on like, what was it, like PlayStation 2 or something like that, way back in the day or something like that. It was I believe it was a double disc game. I don't know. But I never played it. I remember owning it and then turning it back into GameStop not long ago because I think I was upgrading to a new system, so I just never got to it. And then I, got it because I game share with a friend before it came to Game Pass. So I was playing it before a lot of the people that are talking about it now. I was just playing it on Game Pass, and man, I thought that game was phenomenal. I loved it. I had a really good time. The story was great. The driving with the race car, the things that happened towards the end, and the weird ending. And to me, I thought the ending was kind of weird, but it made sense. It was just kind of a little over the top.
Okay.
The second one is more over the top, in my opinion, like in the way that they're trying to make things happen, but which I think the story in the first one's better so far.
Yeah.
But the gameplay in the second one is a little bit more fun.
I agree with that. But you've never played part 3 then, right?
I haven't played part 3 yet, which I hear has the best gameplay but the worst story. But I don't know. I'll be the judge of the story.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's pretty underrated. By the way, Punty informs me that the peace sign means the size of their, you know what, never mind. I didn't know that, Punty. I'm guessing that's true. I'm guessing that's true. Kiryu asked, he said, speaking of movies, is anybody going to see the Crow remake?
No.
You
I haven't
know-
seen
No.
I haven't seen the original Crow, and I already did my due diligence. The Crow has like a 6. It's like in the same ballpark, Rotten Tomatoes wise, as Borderlands. I've already done my time. I did one of them. I don't need to do 2.
I like the Crow, the original. I thought it was okay.
I didn't see it. It's probably fine. Is that the one where some guy died on set?
Yeah, that's when
Yeah, he got like shot with a real gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Brandon Lee.
They were like, "This will be great. It's a fake gun. Everything will be fine." And then they shot him in the head, and they went, "Oh, damn."
Yeah, no, yeah, that was pretty insane.
The sun, cool.
Yeah, I don't understand how they allow something like that to happen, but yeah,
that's an accident, right?
that's what they say. It just,
Yeah.
you know how we start getting into the conspiracy theory, like Bruce Lee suddenly just died when, from a brain aneurysm supposedly, and Brandon Lee, his son. It's like, I don't know.
Speaking of confusing murders or potential murders, there's that like whole investigation now into the Matthew Perry death, where they're like,
I saw that.
Was he actually killed? Was he drugged?
Wild
Stuff. Like, I don't know.
So they're speculating that somebody might have taken him out.
Someone actually already pleaded guilty to like giving him too much drugs on accident.
Wow.
I forget the whole story, so I won't like assert that too strongly because I don't remember who it was. But yeah, I saw the other day that somebody had like pleaded guilty to basically being a shitty doctor and getting him killed.
That's insane. To move on to, I guess, more positive discussion.
Yeah.
So Bushido mentioned Mafia 3. He says, good story, great gameplay, but repetitive mission structure. I guess I can agree to that. I do like the setting and everything like that, and how serious it took you being, this kind of half Italian, half black man in the, 60s or 50s or whatever and such. I guess late 50s when it starts.
It looked really good.
I thought it was dope.
That's one of my backlog games for sure.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I did play the remasters and such, or remakes or whatever, of Mafia 1 and 2. Or at least part 1, I guess. Part 2, I don't think they really remade, just remastered. But I enjoyed part 1 more than part 2, personally. But I am, speaking of Mafia, of course, we heard the Mafia The Old Country was announced at Gamescom. And we are going to move into that discussion now, and want to get you guys' thoughts on what trailers and what was shown that really excited you. Same for you guys in the chat.
Oh, that's going to be a really short conversation for me.
It wasn't much, huh?
No.
Oh, well, I do know one that caught your attention. I'm pretty certain of it because we've talked about it before, and that's the Lost Tapes.
Oh, Lost Records, Bloom and
Lost
Rage.
Records, rather. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good trailer. It didn't really... It gave us the release date, so I guess that's something.
Yeah.
But, like, I
It
don't know, I
showed
was already
gameplay,
sold
too,
on it.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, but we've seen gameplay before. Like, it's just like one of those Telltale Life is Strange type games. Like,
True.
It's not like I was
Looking
waiting
for
to see how
gameplay
the
features
gunplay
and
was
such.
gonna be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how they put the cassette inside the
Well, how's
radio.
it gonna be? How's it gonna work? Like, no, I
Yeah, that's true. As far as myself, I have been playing a few things, but right now I am focused on Black Myth Wukong. And I know it's been much ado about, it not being on Xbox and PlayStation having it, and et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to tell you,
game.
it's divisive, but I'm going to tell you, it's trash on console. This is one of those games
Oh,
where
have you been playing it on your PS5?
I'm on PC. I have seen,
okay.
but I've seen our Hoove brothers trying to claim that, it was 60 frames per second. No, it's not. It's not running.
Bro, that
at
thing
60
barely
frames.
runs 60 on PC.
Exactly. You having a tough time on PC, and I have to have, if I didn't have this high end one I have, I probably wouldn't be achieving that. So
The way they're describing it, it reminds me a lot of Jedi Survivor last year.
Yeah, I can see that. And the thing about this one is, though, it's like the performance is, Delta is tough because you're gonna need something high to run it well.
Mhm.
I think for Star Wars, it was a mixture of that plus just bugs.
Yeah, it just wasn't optimized well.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
Might be the
forced
case
ray
here,
tracing
too.
plus bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
But this game, I just think it's extra weird because of
I
it
definitely just have to
has
achieve
frame
your bug.
generation and it still can't.
Yeah.
Like with frame generation, like that's an upscaler. Like you can't even use get the upscaler. The upscaler is pretty much getting you a regular 30 like a 35 FPS is what it seems
Extra
like.
boost. Yeah.
Which is that's a whole 5 FPS, man. I'm not sure. Like I remember when I was playing Jedi Survivor, I was like, dude, this 60 FPS is so bad that I'm just gonna play it at 30 FPS.
Yeah. Listen, I like for those who could play at 30, I hear you.
I can do it.
I feel like at this point now where I'm at in my life, it's not conducive to my gaming needs. Like,
You got your pinky out. Look at
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say it, but it's like, hey, I got this 4080 Super. I'm putting it to use. That's where I'm at with it now. And so games
Fair.
like this, I would just tell people flat out, if you have the capabilities to get it on PC with Steam, whatever, get it on PC. Do not waste your time on console. You're not going to get the product you want. And I'm thinking this is part of why, because a lot of speculation was why did they not bring it to Xbox? Why are they delaying it? And the Series S got pointed to a lot, of course. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of optimization issues in general with the game, and UE5 is notorious for that because it's GPU heavy. I feel like any of that is holding it back from performing well on console, which to me would just be a waste of time if you try to play it at that. Stuttering and such. I've heard people even have issues on 30 frames per second. So I don't know. In quality mode. So me personally, if my suggestion, get it on PC. But that said, I will say the game is gorgeous. The combat is really fun. It's not a Souls type because a lot of people were like, is it Souls type? Not really. It has elements.
It seems like Souls adjacent.
It has elements of it, right? Like you'll run around and you'll target enemies similar. You will, if you save or rest, I guess, at a spot like a fire,
A bonfire.
Bonfire. Thank you. You will bring enemies back. Things of those. I consider that all soul type tropes. You know what I mean? So stuff like that will happen. Tough bosses rather that you would have to face. Those are soul tropes in my opinion. So it has that, but it's not really Souls-like.
Oh man, I keep hearing people say it's not Souls-like. You know what? Sure. You can keep saying that all you want. You can keep telling me you're not a killer while you torture people, right? So whatever. Put
He's
it
just
in
torturing
whatever
them, they're not
category you want to
dead.
put it in.
Right.
But I'm gonna look at it the same way I look at a Souls game. I don't care what nobody says. The type of pain I see people going through right now, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Listen, it's the most approachable until you get to bosses. At least then they'll start kicking your ass a little bit. I will admit.
But they say about Elden Ring too, and then you see people returning that bitch the next day.
That is true.
I mean, I became the Elden Lord, but I looked at Black Myth and I was just like, after Elden Ring, I'm all set for a little bit. I'm all set.
It's an acquired taste.
Time for this.
I want to enjoy my game, and I tell you what, I don't want to pay $70 to want to break my controller. I'll wait until that goes on sale, and then I'll get into it and have a great time with it, knowing that it's a different feeling when you paid something, paid like $30 for something, and then you get beat up a little bit by it, and you're like, I'm put it down for a little bit.
No, I get it.
Compared to paying full price, paying $70-$80 for a game just to want to throw your entire console out of the window. I'm all set. I know myself, and I am. I did that reflection. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to take care of myself first. These games are out here. They don't.
Some people
around.
like that. Some people are masochists. The gaming masochists, I would say. And my brother Young Kiryu in the chat. The gaming masochists are the ones who love to go back to Souls games and stay in that world in Elden Ring. Kiryu, for instance, has been on Elden Ring I don't even know what do your hours look like, Kiryu? Tell me. Put that in the chat when you get a second, because last I looked at mine, I had like 200 some odd hours, and I was at like level 287 or something like that. That was in the first just regular playthrough. I haven't gone back to it even for the DLC that I have, but I have to go to that eventually. But he continuously goes back to it. So for Souls players, those are really Souls players, that right there is just a way of life. They have to go back to that world and play those types of games. So it's an acquired taste.
Hours. I got like 100 hours, and I beat the game. Everybody was complaining about Mog, and I went back in to see what the fuss was all about. Realized I already beat him, and I was like, all right.
Yeah, I took him out.
Like I'm not a Souls player like that, but I can beat a game if I want to, but I know when I should probably slow down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like Elden Ring got me good and drunk, and like somebody passed me the Wukong, and I was like, you know, like I gotta drive home tonight.
Yeah, I'm good over here.
I'm all set.
I'm cutting myself off. I hear you.
Yeah.
We got my brother Aaron. Aaron. I think,
congratulations to him with his marriage.
Exactly. He says, good afternoon, evening, night, fine folks. Greetings from the hotel in Cologne here before getting some well-needed shut-eye. He's out there with Kay Asante. They've met out there in Germany, and Kay is out there for Gamescom. I'm sure he's on his way back soon. Shout out to you. Auron is the proper, I think, way to say it for him. Auron, congratulations, brother, for you and your beautiful missus. Tying the knot. Our brother Aaron, he got a sister. You know that, right?
Yeah.
He had to get. Listen, I should have known it when he kind of had a little pep in his step and a little seasoning sometimes when we talk to him. I'm like, he like hip hop like I do and everything like that. The man has made music mixes. He DJ'd. I should have known. He knows his hip hop. I should have known. I should have seen that.
That grill work like? That grill work like, though.
Yeah, what that grill look like. We have to know what your grill work like before we can invite you, Aaron. But
using gas and charcoal.
And he knows his R&B. That's right, Inferno. That's right. So shout out to Aaron. Congratulations. For anybody in the chat, give our brother a congratulatory shout out if you would. Yodani, what's up, brother? And of course to our mods, Grade Monad and Yodani, thank you guys for being here, holding us down. What's up, Doovie? But let's move to the news roundup and get to this Gamescom discussion. And
yeah, I mean, do you want to just jump straight into Gamescom? Because
honestly,
that's what like most of the news is. I've got like a couple things here that we can talk about real fast if you want.
I'll play the Gamescom trailers while we do that. Yes. Sure.
Okay, so you don't want the other stuff first? There's just like a handful. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Go to those first, and then we'll do that.
Hey, so you were talking about Black Myth Wukong. It's got some really weird rules for content creators. Have you heard about these?
I've heard a bit, yeah.
So apparently, if you get a free copy of Black Myth Wukong as a content creator to do content with, then you can't swear while you're streaming it. You can't talk about.
You can't cuss at all? I didn't know that.
No,
that one I didn't know.
You can't talk about China or their politics. You can't be a feminist, which is a weird one for them to throw in there. You can't say quarantine, isolation, or COVID.
Throw it back for a second, bro.
Yeah. Which one?
Like, I mean, I don't want to talk about sit here and talk about like politics and stuff like that. Yeah. But how, like they don't want you to talk about it, or they don't want you to be one.
They don't both. I mean, it seems like both, but mostly talk about it. They don't want you to talk about like China or the Chinese game industry or Chinese politics or being a feminist. So
imagine if they gave you that as a
like they say you can't be gangster.
Like,
imagine if they told you that. Hey, swear to us right now that you're not a feminist, or else you cannot get this code. Swear to me.
I don't know. It's really dumb, and I also think that it's one of those things where like I don't know that anyone or the majority of people making content for it would have talked about most of those things anyway. But like now that they can't, now you're shining a real light on it of like, what are you so afraid of? Why you don't want people talking about China? What's going on?
Well, you know how China gets now. They
I
don't.
mean, I know
They don't
exactly
play
how
that.
not to get.
Yeah, they don't play that whatsoever when it comes to censorship. They'll shut you down.
Yeah, they're pretty awful about it.
Yeah, I get it.
They make Nintendo cry.
So hey, if you want to stream Black Myth Wukong, just buy it.
Just
Just buy it. They
Just
can't
buy
tell
it.
you what to do if you buy it.
There you go. I understand. I think for the feminist part, I get some understanding of it only because there was some controversy lobbed at them about supposed misogynistic thoughts and sexist thoughts and things like that. And I think it was unfounded, and it was a bad translation from I think IGN, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't even know where that would have come from. It's a game about a monkey man hitting shit with a stick.
I don't know
I don't
either.
know.
Crazy.
Somebody explained it. I saw a video.
Is there even a woman in the game? I've not seen.
Yeah,
one.
there are a few ladies in it, enemies of course, but yeah, there are a few. But like, I think it was a bad translation from what I recall off this video. I kind of skimmed through, but I saw they were saying it was a bad translation that somebody ran with and misconstrued as them being anti whatever. And so I think this is them trying to avoid any more of that talk about it. You know what I mean?
I hear you, but I also feel like if they say don't talk about feminist stuff, then what they're saying kind of is you might have been a little right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm thinking the
true.
China doth protest too much.
Maybe. Perhaps. Mayhaps. Yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that is like
You almost attract a problem.
that's the no, some of my best friends are black. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what that is. And it's pretty clear to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I suppose that's fair. I didn't know about the cuss words part.
yeah, you can't swear. You can't say anything that they deem offensive, which seems really broad and like unclear as to what they mean by that. But they were very clear about you can't swear, like no harsh language.
They would have got me quick. But I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, you would
lost
your ass beat by some boss, and you would have started swearing because that's
exactly.
That's what Souls-like, not Souls-like games are. That's what that genre does.
That's what it does. I lost to the regular nobody about 10 times. Just this gigantic melon head thing walking down the forest. Yeah, if you guys ever play it, you'll see him. He's a gigantic, like big-headed monk walking down the forest.
I've watched some people fight it and lose. Where's that thing?
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And this feels like a game that's going to be pretty far back on my my backlog at this point.
Yeah,
I look at it and I'm like, it's pretty, but what else? You know?
Yeah,
I will speak to me.
I will say the story is trash. I'm going to be honest. I know it's supposed to follow the, it's
the Journey to the West, but just like told worse, right?
Told worse, and I don't think it's delivered well. I think the dialogue is kind of I don't
Journey
think
to the West,
for me it's enough to know that hey, I guess I'm trying to regain the powers of Sun Wukong and everything like that, and I'm fighting enemies. That's enough for me, and it's a pretty world and a fun combat. I guess that's enough for me to enjoy.
That's 6 frames a second on PS5.
Right. So yeah, if you ever do get it in your backlog, get it on your PC, man. Don't even waste your time. But what else do we have?
I might just not waste my time anywhere, to be
honest.
Yeah,
well, hey, you could do that.
I mean, hey, we'll see. There's plenty of other probably better games that I haven't played that I need to go back and play. Like Mafia 3, which seems fun. I haven't played that yet, but I wanted to.
Definitely.
Anyway, we got the first trailer for an animated Lord of the Rings movie called The Lord of the Rings: War of the Rohirrim. And I've been like sort of just like, oh, that's gonna be really stupid since they announced it however long ago. This trailer looks really good. Like it genuinely looks really good. It's an interesting concept. It's just Lord of the Rings, but it looks like it's animated by the people who do the like newer Fire Emblem cutscenes. Like that, it looks like a Fire Emblem game, but Lord of the Rings. And like I'm kind of down for that. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, but like I don't know. I'll see it on whatever streaming service it comes to.
I figured it was going straight to streaming, but
no, it said theaters.
Okay.
But it probably won't.
It is Lord of the Rings.
It'll be on streaming pretty fast, I would imagine.
I'm sure. It's Lord of the Rings, though. I can see them putting that out in theaters for sure. Why not? It does look really good, I will say. When I shared it in the chat, I was like, okay, this looks way better than I thought.
Look, I pretty much guarantee it sells more tickets than Borderlands.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think it was a Japanese director, too. I forgot his name.
That makes sense, because it looks exact. Honestly, if it was the same team that did the cutscenes for Fire Emblem, I would not be shocked at all. It is that it is
That would be
close.
funny if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should,
Like the
I'll
character
look
model
into it.
specifically.
Yeah, it does look good. I'll say that. I don't know if you guys are some Lord of the Ring fans, check that trailer out for that. It's an animated movie. It's called what is it again?
War of the Rohirrim.
War of the Rohirrim.
Yeah.
So yeah, check that out when you guys get a chance. I would play it right now, but I already have something queued up, so I don't want to waste time trying to switch between it. But what else do we have?
Xbox is trying to revive the old Activision Marvel games. This comes from Nick Baker on Xbox Era, is where it's being reported is coming from. I think it was also Special Nick said something about it. But basically, they're working on relicensing the old games so that they can sell them again, and most likely put them on Game Pass. You have to assume.
I'm all for it. Love it. I would love if they remastered them fully. But it seems.
Yeah.
I would guess it would just be them getting permission to put it in Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean they'll probably do the thing where it's like, oh, we did the FPS boost and like it runs better and that sort of thing, like the stuff they did do for like their normal backwards compatible stuff. I would doubt that they would do like a full remaster.
Yeah, unfortunately. What about you, Ham? You excited for that if they bring that back?
Yeah, honestly, I want them just to do that because, like, if they, I'd rather them just to put the game that they made out first and then like maybe FPS boosted or auto HDR or whatever the hell for those games. But I mean that's exactly what I've been like looking and waiting for is them to do something like this with the old titles that they have the rights to be able to do it with.
Yeah, 100%.
But when putting those games out there, whichever games possibly get really hot, then you possibly maybe do a remaster or a continuation of said game. Like if something like that pops off like that, So I mean, to me, that's just like a win-win. I don't see why you wouldn't. And then on top of it, as you were just talking about with Game Pass and whatnot, I mean, that's just another reason. I mean, nostalgia sells. So you throw some stuff that everybody used to love on the Game Pass and give them the opportunity to play it. Like I'm still wondering, what the holdup is with, some of the older Call of Duties and stuff like that, and why they haven't hit Game Pass and whatnot. So, I mean, maybe it's a part of some sort of weird deal because we already heard about them not being able to advertise certain stuff as much. Like I don't understand all this legality stuff behind all of it. I'm a gamer and I just want to be able to play games.
Yeah.
And I think that'd just be a huge win for gamers is to see that game or not that game, but the onslaught of the games that they had from previous generations come into the service and be available for purchase.
I agree, including, I mean, obviously starting with Activision games, but like you, I'm confused by that too. I don't understand why they're holding off on putting those in there. I'm guessing they're wisely trying to manage Call of Duty itself, not to overload people with things, I guess.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to like slow roll it in such a way that they can spread out like the good faith of it for as long as possible, because like if basically every month they can say we added this Call of Duty, we added the Insane Trilogy, we added this, we added that, then like that's just a constant source of
it almost feels like a back pocket, right? Like a card that they can always play if they ever get into kind of a situation to where this game's gonna be getting delayed, so like we're not gonna tell anybody that we're delaying the game, that we didn't even tell anybody that it's when it's coming out. We're just gonna go on ahead and give them an old game from Game Pass that we have in our back pocket.
Yep.
I mean, it's not dumb business-wise to do something like that. It's not.
No, absolutely not.
It's just not that exciting for us as customers to be.
No, I think there'll be a
using
couple
that
of,
as like a crutch.
Yeah, I think there'll be a couple of big drops that'll get people excited. I think when World of Warcraft inevitably comes to consoles, like that'll be a big one. I think when they do like, honestly, when they do like the Warcraft ports for like the old RTSs, the same way that they've been doing Age of Empires, which I really think is almost a given at this point. I think that'll be a big thing for people. Like there's some things in there that I think they're just doing some groundwork on to make them like more exciting announcements, because they could do a thing today where they would just be like, and we put the entire Activision backlog on Game Pass. And people be like, whoa. And then 2 weeks from now, they'd be like, but Indiana Jones is going to PlayStation.
We'll be getting to that talk too, because that opened the door. The door is continuously creaking open more and more about that whole this to PlayStation talk. So
Man, it's just people showing their ass.
yeah, I was so annoyed because I thought back to seeing a lot of the Xbox guys using the Indiana Jones to troll PlayStation gamers, saying,
That's karma, dude.
this wouldn't be on PlayStation. It showed Indy like doing a great circle, equator circle on the map and everything, and they put a PlayStation fan face there, like crying. I was like, oh no, this all come back to haunt us now.
No, I'm sorry. Maybe you should have been less awful. I do just have a couple more stories. It's nothing will be long. Final Fantasy 16 is coming to PC on September 17th and is basically confirmed to also be coming to Xbox not too long after. So hey, if you want Final Fantasy 16 for some reason, then it's coming. Square Enix is doing that thing that they said they were going to do with pretty much everything that they can at this point. I'm assuming that as soon as they are allowed to do it with the Final Fantasy 7 remakes, they'll do it there too.
Speaking of Square, they finally brought Final Fantasy 16 to PC, or at least
on the 17th next month.
Should I say? Yeah.
Yeah.
The demo is out now, I think, right? Is it the demo?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's a demo. And I know a few people who have tried it out. Like I know Slow Mo has tried it out, for instance.
Yeah. It's
a
shame that
what's that?
It's a shame that we didn't invite him onto the show.
Yeah, I think Slow Mo is like live when we're live, so that's the tough part.
Who is it we're waiting on? I thought.
Post Up.
Post Up.
Yeah. But speaking of which, let me reach back out to him while I'm saying that. But that said, he said it ran pretty well, things of that nature. But my thing to him was, from the visuals I saw, I didn't think he looked that much improved, Final Fantasy 16, from what I played on PS5 to what I'm seeing on PC. I'm sure it looks better.
I mean, that was pretty much its like big selling point, was that it was already pretty on PS5. So like I don't think there's just not a whole lot of improvement to do on PC. And also, like, if the whole point is you just want to put it on other platforms so it can make money, you don't necessarily want, like, you're not going to go back in and make like new textures for it, you're just going to port it.
Yep.
So
yeah, definitely. But
it might like run better, but that's about it.
That's pretty much it. But I will give them the credit where I think they lowered the price to $50, and you get everything, including the DLC and stuff like that. So, okay, W for PC gamers, I would say. But what else? Always, it seems, yeah.
If you say so. So Xbox has come out and talked about the core and standard Game Pass tiers not getting the first party games in day one and how long that might be. They said it might be like a year, and I think that's really funny.
You're talking about the Game Pass core and standard
Game Pass core
right?
and standard, might take like 12 months for first party games to come there. Just get Ultimate. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like, one get Ultimate, but that right there also plays into one negative thing, and somebody else pointed it out, and I was like, oh. So with core and standard Game Pass, the tiers, you have to wait up to 12 months before first party games come to it. I get it. They've already been prepping people for that. Problem is, however, now specifically with a title like Indiana Jones will be coming to Game Pass Ultimate, like you said, obviously, and that's what they're pushing people to. But it'll also hit PlayStation before it hits core or standard.
Yeah, I mean, for $70, but yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of feels like a bit of a slap to the face, I would say.
I don't think so. I don't feel so.
Think so?
I don't feel so much.
I mean,
about
like,
that,
I see what you're saying.
It's just like it, because then it's like you could still buy it before
PlayStation gamers
able to buy it.
True.
Like, if you really want to play that game, if you're mad that it's in the service a year later, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Just pay the extra couple bucks and just get Ultimate. Like, at that point, but like, you can't know the rules and then get mad that you gotta follow them. Like
It's like-
it just doesn't really make any sense to me.
You have two different ways on Xbox to still get it before PlayStation, even though they're putting it over there eventually. And if you choose to not take either of those two options and then still complain about it, then it's like, okay, like I showed you the door, I won't open it for you. That's on you.
Pretty much. Listen, I taught you how to fish. I led you to the water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done bringing you fish.
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
get
Like, I'm not upset about it. I hear what you're saying, and I
Yeah.
think that, you know, there's people who will be upset about that, but at the same time, it's like, I think it's a business choice. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this will drive people in one of two directions of either being like, oh, well, then I'll just buy it, which works for them. Then they get the full game sale. Or
True.
they'll just upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate, which is clearly what they want you to do anyway. Like, they just
Yeah.
want you to have Ultimate.
Pretty
They've been
much.
wanting to do that a long time. Like, they've been wanting for the last multiple years. We know that they've been wanting to just not charge you at all for the online stuff.
Yeah.
And the pushback against that has been, but you have so many people on now Game Pass Core, previously Xbox Live. And so it's like, I do think that this is just like, hey, just get Ultimate, just do it.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
like it's what, like $5 more a month or something from the lower one.
I forgot. Okay, I forgot the pricing structure, but
Okay.
I
Cancel
listen,
your Peacock subscription and get Ultimate.
I've been a part of Game Pass Ultimate for so long that
Yeah.
it's like it's second nature for me. I see no reason to get rid of it. Even if I'm gaming on PC, I still get the benefit of getting those games over there. So I'll never be leaving the service unless they get out of like pocket price wise. I don't see myself leaving. But I definitely agree with you guys. Overall, you have options. You can buy the game outright, or just upgrade to Game Pass Ultimate, which is
The fact
what
that
they
they're
want you to
putting-
do anyway, like you said.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
do it for a month and go back if you need to. Like,
That's
it's
The
really
fact that
not
they're
that
putting
serious.
their
True.
first party games into a subscription service at all is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like not even Disney does that with their movies.
That's true.
So like, I don't know, man. They're giving you so many options. Like, I understand that this is hurtful to people who are in those tiers where it's like, oh, now I have to get Ultimate or I have to do this, and it's like, yeah, like I get that, I understand.
But seriously, what's so hard about being like, I'm paying $5 extra the next 2 months so I can complete this game, and then I'm going back down to the other service? That's still saving you like $60
Yeah,
from having to buy it, and you still you just paid $10 to be able to beat it before the person on PlayStation gets it, since you don't want them in your yard.
yeah, and I
Or
do think
whatnot.
on sort of like a meta level, this is actually, there's an interesting thing here where it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be doing this, right, if you're going to be saying our first party titles, because I think it's just first party, I think like third party, like day one stuff, some of that's still going into the lower tiers day one. I don't know, I'm not 100%, don't quote me on that, but the report that I saw only said first party titles, so I don't know. But the fact that they're doing that and making it so it's only an Ultimate that does that is like, okay, well then you need to basically step it up, and you need to be like if you're going to put it exclusively in the higher pay tier, then we need a more consistent flow of content for that to make sense, whether that is third party stuff or first party stuff. Like, if you're going to make that like the reason to get the higher tier, then you need to justify me paying for that every month, because otherwise I'm going to go up for a month and I'm going to drop back down. I'm going to go up for a month and I'm going to drop back down. So if you want me to, I mean, I'm already in Ultimate because I use it for PC and console, and I like having online or whatever. So
Yeah.
I'm not the market here. But if you want people to make that jump, you have to justify it to them. You have to have the content there to justify them continuing to do it.
You have to have the content. So we have shout out to you, Mamelind, inside the chat. He says, at this point, just playing on Game Pass, no longer buying first party games. They changed the value proposition, and I get that sentiment.
100%.
Makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I mean, and like you said, Ham, you can just easily subscribe for that month of the game you really want to play, and be done with it, and cancel if that's not, the thing's not hitting that you want to hit. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
I'm a person that likes to buy games, but I'm not everybody, you know. Like
Mm-hmm.
people gotta like keep that in mind. Like some people find, you know, purchasing things, digital clutter is a thing.
Digital clutter.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, I mean, it is a thing. It's a thing that people like. They don't want to surf. They don't want to buy every single movie that they get, but they got a few movies that they can't do without.
Mhm.
There are so many more people like that than there are people like me that are, oh, I want to support them. They're pretty cool. I want to support them and whatnot.
Right.
So I think it's brilliant that a person that's not into that knows their level of love for the hobby. They know better.
Well, and
So
there's also
if you-
the added aspect here of like the oh my god, I completely forgot what I was going to say. Say what you were saying again. Continue, and I'll jump back in when my brain restarts.
I hate when that happens. I'm like, give me some ginkgo biloba so I can get my memory right.
I got no
But
idea, dude.
basically, more or less, I mean, so in the chat, I asked you guys too, are you guys also switching from buying first party to maybe just using Game Pass to support your
Wait,
games?
sorry, I got it. Let me go before I forget it again.
There
Like
you
a
go.
complete dumbass I am. Because there's people who are like, oh my god, like people aren't buying the games. Xbox is making so much less money. Like we know that that's not true. Like we look at the numbers. We know that Game Pass subscribers spend 150 to 200% more money than non-Game Pass subscribers, right?
Yeah.
Like we know that the fact that people have Game Pass is not like costing Xbox money. In fact, it's making them money through the roof. So it's like it's this thing of like I don't know why people are, because I don't think Mamaland is that his name? Mamaland is saying it is saying it like
I think Mainland.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think you're saying it in a way to be like, oh, Xbox is dying. I can't believe they're doing this. But some people are. Some people are like, oh, Xbox people don't buy games anymore, and it's like, yeah, but Xbox doesn't care because they're making so much money.
Yeah.
Like they
yeah.
have all of your money and haven't given you like the game. It's literally the best of both worlds for them.
Yeah. He said he got to change his name.
I'm sorry, I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Did I pronounce it right? Is it Mainland? I think I got it right. Mainland. No, I agree. I get what you're saying, man. 100%. I just feel I feel like, and I get what he's saying too, because Microsoft has pretty much told us in so many words what the situation is. So you gotta, as a consumer, you have to kind of make that choice what works for you. So I'm not mad at that decision at all, Mainland. I think that's reasonable to do what you're saying you're going to go do. I'm sure many more will actually do it, even if they don't say it.
Well, there's so many people out there doing it and saying they're not.
Mhm.
It's like it's in to me. I think it's more BS just to say that you're not going to do it, because like for me, I'm not. This is a subscription service that has given me the opportunity to play games and not have to buy every single one. I'm still I still spent $300 or like what is it, like almost $400 for that Starfield thing, and with the I got the watch and the briefcase and stuff that it came with and whatnot. But the cool thing for me, particular, since I'm like collecting or like getting some of this stuff, is that since I have Game Pass, I didn't have to open it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just sitting on my shelf, like good to go. And it's the same thing that I had to do with college football, because sometimes I end up like supporting it and knowing that it's going to be in the subscription service. Like college football is probably going to be in the subscription service next year. Seeing that EA usually puts, Madden in the subscription service every year. If they're planning on doing a college football game every year, like I'm assuming, then last year's is going to be available next year. So, I know that already, but I'm still buying them. It makes sense for me. But as for like maybe Mainland, what they're saying, like maybe it doesn't make sense for them, and for many people, I wouldn't advertise really doing all that if they don't have to. I'm looking to save my friends as much money as possible as well as me. So I don't want to be known as giving them a shitty deal.
Yeah.
Telling them to go do something that doesn't make any sense. So I definitely advertise Game Pass to them, and if they get further into the hobby, then maybe I might start asking them. Maybe you might want to start supporting or checking some of this other stuff out. But like, as for being a super casual person that's not really playing all that much, or maybe you're playing a lot but you don't really have a whole lot of funds to be like paying for all that stuff, I don't see why somebody should feel any type of way for having a subscription service or getting into a subscription service only.
Yeah. No, I well said. I agree with all of that. By the way, I just came across it, and Curio, you asked about The Crow. It says The Crow debuts with 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. Sheesh.
Uh-oh.
That's dead on arrival right there.
That Borderlands, watch it.
That's 6% better than Borderlands, David.
Sheesh. Somebody made a joke. They said, "What in the Concord is this?" Speaking of Concord, did you guys know it took 8 years for them to make that?
Took them 8 years and it's already dead.
Already dead.
Is it dead already?
Oh, it's
Pretty
about to
much.
be.
Isn't it out on pre-release or something like that?
It's on Yeah, they had the beta and everything, but they're going to release it, I think, this month coming up. That game is not going to last, unfortunately.
It comes out tomorrow.
Oh, it comes out tomorrow. See, you see how I don't care about it enough to know.
But no one does.
Yeah.
I thought it was a pretty fun game, but yeah, I don't feel like they made the best moves with what they sought out to do. Like, I don't know, $40 for that. I'm not buying that.
Should have been free to play for sure.
It just everything about it's free to play, and that game reminds me of another game that hasn't came out yet that I'm thinking might fail as well.
What's that?
Is it?
It's Arc Raiders.
I actually am excited for Arc Raiders. I hope it doesn't fail.
I don't want it to fail, but I tell you what, like, they came out with this last trailer that I know we're gonna get into Gamescom here in a little bit, but like, they came out with this trailer that was a big nothing. It was a trailer of nothing, pretty much. Like, it didn't tell you anything about the game. It was kind of a waste of time. The game was supposed to be free to play. Now it's supposedly gonna be a game that you pay for. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it seems like I don't know what the game is yet, so maybe I can't overly judge, but it just not a good look to me.
Yeah.
Like, hopefully being paid for now means something, but I don't know if it does.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's funny you mentioned this, and we talk about free to play. Danny, I don't know if you have it on News Roundup, but did you add anything about Towerborn on there?
No, I figured that was part of Gamescom.
Yeah, it is roughly part of that. So I guess
we can just jump to Gamescom. I'm done. Like, that's the end of the News Roundup.
Okay, cool. So for the Gamescom situation, just to piggyback off that, I guess we can start with this. Towerborn is going free to play. However, it costs since they're starting it in Steam first. So it's not free to play on Steam yet, at least for the Founders Edition and everything like that. And but the one thing I know a lot of people had complained about was the fact that they're launching it over there in Steam first, and Xbox guys would get it after. What are you guys' thoughts about that? And let me better, I guess, frame this for you guys. He really changed his name. Mainland is now MIG Elite or MIG Elite.
Oh no. No, it's Mig. It's gotta be Mig. It's lowercase.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nice.
It's easier to say just MIG or Elite.
MIG Elite. Welcome. You have ascended. Yeah, so Towerborn. Let me put this up in here. So it's scheduled to be released September, or at least early access is scheduled to release on September 10th of next month. So the way that they're processing it, and it seems to be the case that they're doing this for funding. That's what a lot of people are speculating. That their early access on Steam is to allow for them to charge to kind of cover whatever development costs they may have need here for the game. But it just seems really odd, because it would make you think then that Microsoft abandoned the project with them. They don't want to give them more money. What's the case? Why would they do that? So it's very odd. But I know a lot of people have complained about it, saying that it is releasing to Steam first, and then the final game will be a free to play for everybody on Xbox. Do you guys have any thoughts on that specifically? Did that offend you? Make you feel away? Anything like that?
I already forgot what game we were talking about.
Tower Bore.
Yeah, I don't know it. Like, I keep hearing people talk about that game, and I've seen it like 3 times now, and it's one of those games where I see it and it just like goes out my ear the second. Like, the game just looks so nothing to me that that game could come out and the entire plot could just be 700 characters specifically saying like "F you" to me, and I wouldn't know or care. I don't know, like I don't know.
Sound like you excited for it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's coming to Steam before Xbox, I guess. It's like, I don't know, dude. It's not a first party game, so who cares?
It's technically second party, I guess.
It's
right?
it's being published by them.
You're
but
right.
like, I don't know. Were we mad when Gears Tactics went to Steam? Were we mad about that? Because if so, then like, yeah, I guess you can be mad here too. But like, this is such like a minor
Nothing
game
burger
that I
for
don't
you.
know. Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, how much later is it coming to Xbox? Do we have the answer to that already?
From what I understand, I think it'll release at the same time, but once it releases, at least. Early access, however, is strictly to Steam. I think that's really people's
it's
contention.
just early access?
Yeah. So a lot of people were complaining that why though would you not have it on early access for both Steam and Xbox, which I get. So the pre-purchase, if you pre-order it rather, you get the Silver's Founders Pack, it's $25, or you can get the Gold Founders Pack, which is $45. And yet it's going to be free to play after it releases. It's very odd. I know I've heard people say that it seems like they're doing this for funding that Microsoft won't give them. So I don't know. I don't understand it fully. But
it may literally just be that the PC version is further along, and that's the version that they want to test. That may literally just be it. I don't. There's this weird thing with like the game space where every time literally anything happens, people want to like come up with these crazy conspiracies. When 90% of the time it's just like, yeah, I don't know, like that was the one that was done, so that's the one we put out. Like, like you talk to the people and they're just like, I don't know, like that was what made the most sense at the time. And everyone's like, well, if you see here, he got a plane in St. Louis on Wednesday, which means he had to have flown to the PlayStation headquarters on Thursday. And it's like,
you'll notice when he switched here from JFK to
like, y'all are taking this way too seriously. Are you getting the game? Cool. Are you getting it day one even? Cool. Like, what are you mad about? Like, realistically,
I think all of this just stems from the whole tribalism situation in the console. I called it console brain or console warring brain. I think on Boom's show, where a lot of people were kind of feeling away with games going over, and we speculated this before we heard the news of Indiana Jones, mind you. And I said, hey, well, it's bound to happen. You know, I think I even mentioned that Indiana Jones could be one of the games, could be the game that they were speaking on, because it's Disney, and Disney wants their return on investment, and they've made it clear. We've seen it with Spider-Man and things like that. And
I think we're going to see it with the Insomniac Spider-Man games.
I think eventually we will. Yeah, I think we talked about that once. I think eventually they'll even have to give up the ghost, but if not day and date with PC. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's one of those things, man. For me, I have a feeling we'll get to it, so I guess I'll hold my thoughts. But yeah, for Towerborn, that's not much ado about nothing, but I think it just was compounded by all the other news. I think that's what it really is. That's what it came down to. But look, let's move to the Gamescom thing in general, in earnest, I guess they would say. And one of the first games shown at Gamescom, we'll kind of keep this kind of quick, and I guess I can ask you guys what games interested you most. So yes.
Yes.
Uh,
Was that you asking what games interested us about?
No,
That was-
that was
you
me
want me to start
trying to.
listening?
That was me trying to transition. So,
Okay.
Borderlands 4, one of the first
Boy.
games.
Boy, howdy. Here's the thing. Like, straight up a month ago, I would have been excited to hear about a Borderlands 4. But now
the movie got you.
Now having seen the movie and how really bad it was,
Yeah.
and having recently replayed Borderlands 1 with some friends of mine and being like, oh, this is actually also pretty bad. Like, this does not hold up. And then remembering that Borderlands 3 was also kind of ass. And I'm like, was Borderlands 2 the only good one? How was the pre-sequel? I didn't play that. Was that okay? I don't know. And now I'm looking at Borderlands 4 and I'm like, will I play that? Yeah, probably eventually. Am I excited for it? No.
Yeah.
No, especially not from this teaser because it didn't show us anything. It was like, oh, a meteor fell and it was the Psycho Mask. And I'm like, okay, cool. So there's a fourth one. They're like, coming out next year. And I'll be like, immediately I saw that and I was like, you've shown us nothing. You've promised that we're going to get it in like roughly 12 months, probably, maybe like 12 to 18 months, maybe. And it's like, no, I don't think we will. I'm sorry, Randy. I don't believe you, Randy Pitchford. I think that game's not coming out 2025. If it does, it probably won't be much better than 3.
So no general excitement for you just yet.
No, like I need to see what the game is. I need to see who the playable characters are. I need to see if it still has like really bad fart jokes and that's all that we're doing here. I need, honestly, my favorite thing that could come out of Borderlands 4 would be if it was just like an extended roast of Randy Pitchford at this point, because that dude's a menace to society.
Yeah. What about you, Ham? Did this do anything for you when you saw it? Borderlands 4 being mentioned and announced, should I say?
I feel like it couldn't have been worse timing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like they put out a dud of a movie and they were like, hey, they kind of were like, we did this, deal with it. And then they're like, hey, we got a game. And it's like,
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
I don't know.
oh,
Like, it just doesn't look it like to me, like, and they showed this as the trailer of it being like the equivalent to our creators trailer of just nothing. It's just a bunch of nothing, and then Borderlands 4 on the screen, and it's like, okay, well, I thought 1 was pretty good to me. I liked it, but I didn't play it recently. I'm sure it's aged horribly.
It hasn't aged well,
Because Borderlands 2 is kind of rough.
Yeah, I haven't played 2 in a long time. So
2, I love 2, and 2 was like
great.
2 made me just fall absolutely in love with Borderlands. I like Borderlands 1, but I thought it could have did better when Borderlands 2 came out. Handsome Jack and the B, if you remember that shield, and just the different guns and killing all these different type of enemies from loader bots. They had so many different type of loader bot enemies, and then they had a ton of different like just regular alien weird enemies and stuff like that transformed and stuff like that.
Borderlands
And the bosses were insane.
Yeah,
the bosses were insane, but like then they came out with Borderlands 3, and the story was very inspiring from 2, and from 2, they had Tales of the Borderlands, the whole Telltale game, which is pretty cool. They had a ton of expansions for Borderlands 2, and what was the last thing I was gonna say? And then they had the whole prequel thing, right? Yeah, the pre-sequel. But then they came out with 3, which I was really hyped for. I had a good time with it, like mechanically. I thought it was a really good game mechanically. The story, it seemed like it peaked about a third of the way in. And then like pretty much after they killed my favorite character from Borderlands 2, I lost all care for Borderlands 3. And it wasn't just because they killed my favorite character, which that hurt. But they also then made the rest of the characters kind of like it felt like a nursery kind of.
The nursery, huh?
Yeah, because then you cared about what was that chick, Ava or whatever that chick
Something
is
like
that you ended
that.
up taking in, and then it was
little
just
kid.
like it felt like we weren't really fighting with purpose. We're just finding
my
it.
Emotions. Yeah.
It's just occurred to me. I bet you money that she's one of the playable in 4. I bet you money. I bet it's Ava and like Tina.
Oh
then,
my
like-
god! Well, they definitely need Tina as a regular, as a playable character, because I tell you what, she does not work anymore as a side character, in my opinion. And I tell you what, Tiny Tina's Wonderland stunk.
Yeah.
Like that game stunk. I like after playing like when I was done playing Borderlands 3, and I played that game until like. I eventually got like guns and stuff that were like completely broken and like I have guns that were powerful enough to shut off my series, not my series console, my Xbox One X. I remember I was playing on my Series X when I first got it, and I was using that gun that used to turn off my console, and I told my buddy that still had a One X to hop on. And I shot the gun a bunch of times, and it killed his, it shut off his console, and he got pissed off at me. But like, I liked Borderlands 3 in the sense of I played the crap out of it because of like the mechanics and everything, and some of the boss fights were dope, but the story just stunk.
Those villains made me want to die.
Tiny
Every time I
Tina,
spoke.
Tiny Tina, on the other hand, was a special type of anger that I had for the series of Borderlands because to me it made Tiny Tina so like kind of unbearable, in my opinion. Like when they like at the beginning of the game when they're like, let's move this Cheeto out the way. I about lost it. Because to me, that game appealed to the same people that went to go watch the movie and loved it.
Were there people who saw that movie and loved it? I've not heard a single.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
It was some tortured soul. It was like, yeah, this is
I just
it.
felt like that game was for nobody. The idea that they had with making it kind of an RPG to me was cool. The idea of you making your own character was kind of cool to me. The story stunk. The running around the Monopoly board stunk. Like the hopping into these like little Nexus things that go into battles and then hopping right back out took me out of the game loop. Like I just like it was just so compartmentalized and just a terrible D&D story. A terrible D&D story.
That feels about right.
And then the end of it with the whole like the person that won the contest that ended up in the game stunk.
They must have been so disappointed in their.
I
life
felt
choices.
terrible for that person. I'm sure they are proud to be in the game, and more power to you, because I'd be proud to be in any game, even if it does stink, right?
Sure.
But it's just like I just didn't feel like they did that person any favors by putting them in the game. Like that's not a person I really care to see in the next one, and that's what you would think that they would do, the kind of justice they do for you, like make you cool enough to like you're on the team, you know, right? Instead of like, I don't know, you're kind of a Happy Meal toy.
Well-reasoned points, Ham. So listen, beside that with Borderlands, now this is second on the trailer list. I'm gonna skip ahead.
Sorry, I got on a passionate tangent.
Nah, you.
I love it, man. That's part of it. I love it. Let me skip ahead here. Indiana Jones, you see. Mafia, the old country. I am
Now we're talking.
genuinely excited for this right here. I'm wondering what engine they're going to use. I'm guessing they'll probably stick to the in-house engine they use for the remake. But super excited for this. They're going back to the roots. I know a lot of people complained about Mafia 3. They didn't, like Lincoln as much. So now they're going back to where it all starts, where the made men come from. And
Sicily.
yeah, going back to Italiano. I'm in Papadi Boopity. I'm very interested.
I'm ready to get all up in that gabagoo.
Indeed. And we can wish list it now.
No pause. Resume.
You guys excited for this? What you're thinking on that, Danny?
I am kind of excited for it. I don't know that I'll play it just because I haven't played the previous ones. I think it'll probably be good. From what I understand, the previous Mafia games are all pretty good. So, like, I am excited for it. I genuinely think that it'll be good, and I do want to play it. Did we get a release date for it? I don't think we did.
Not for this, unfortunately.
I think they just said next year, didn't they?
I think the first one just got added to Game Pass, right? Maybe I'll play through that and then do this the whole series and get ready for Old Country, even though it's probably a prequel, right?
This is a prequel for sure.
Maybe I'll start with it. We'll see.
Yeah,
it looks good. It's not like one where I'm like day one, but it looks good.
None of them really connect either.
Oh, really? I assumed at least like 1 and 2 did.
1 and 2 did at the very end.
Hey, thanks.
I didn't say how, but you'll see.
The main character of 1 shows up and kills the main character of 2. Got him.
So
I haven't played him. I don't know.
You got me thinking.
I'm going to keep my mouth closed. I'm going to keep my mouth closed.
They do a Sopranos thing. He hits him with a baseball bat and it goes black.
I am going to keep my mouth closed. But
man, starting podcast without me knowing, spoiling games. I am never coming back.
I didn't say it.
There's no way that's a spoiler. I literally made that up on the spot. There's no shot.
Anyhow, you guys in the chat, are you excited for Mafia: The Old Country? Well, who would you like to see pop up? Maybe I don't know if maybe they might have some of the people from Part 1 pop up. It's possible. I mean, because the first one is set back in, I think, in the 40s.
Is there like a grandpa character in the first one?
It's an older fellas, yeah. Older fellas in there for sure. Yeah, it's possible.
I'd love to see that. And I mean, I'm crazy excited for this game.
Yeah. Now, this is another one I'm excited for, which I'm sure we all are. Warhammer 40,000 or 40K, should I say, Space Marine 2.
What's really cool?
Did they show that at Gamescom? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they did. But we've seen enough.
But before we move to that, I just wanted to say last thing about Mafia. So Deck 13, or not Deck 13. Hangar 13.
Yeah, Hangar 13. Regular. Yeah,
Hangar 13. Hangar 13 did the remake for the first one,
right?
As recently, and to me, they paid absolute homage with that game, and it looks phenomenal. Like, if you haven't played it, it's in Game Pass. Go play the damn game. To see the level of respect that they put in it, I cannot wait to see what they do in Italy. And I wonder if there's going to be any cross to you coming into America at all, or I'm wondering if at the end of that, if it's going to be a sequel, because remember, they're also working on 5. They're working on the sequel already. So I'm wondering if that's going to have any connection to that, or if it's going to be another completely separate thing back in the States, or possibly in a completely different country.
That's a good thing. Good thought, rather, because they may have us just play over in Italy, so it's possible. I'd be interested in seeing that.
I'd love to make the transition from Italy to America and have to, kind of like, especially in these times in kind of political space and whatnot, to see what it's kind of like to be an immigrant in a game.
Yeah, that'd be dope. I like that thinking. On the screen, of course, it's Call of Duty Black Ops. What's it, Black Ops 6? It looks pretty darn good. They showed Bill Clinton in it, by the way. I don't know if you all saw that.
Yeah, they got a few people. Don't they got Bush in there too?
I don't know, but I know.
Couldn't tell you.
I know for a fact really I saw Clinton on there. It does.
He was, wasn't he the head of the CIA at that time?
You might be right. Maybe he is. I know for sure Bill is. I didn't see anybody else though. That guy right there that got hit in his face looked a bit like like John F. Kennedy or somebody or something. So ask the chat to just see what the chat is liking, what they're feeling. Gray says most of them, which I agree. Donnie says Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares 3 was announced as well. That looks really good, by the way. I agree with that. And I also agree with the Plucky Squire. I've been talking about the Plucky Squire for a while. Super excited to play that. Cannot wait to see that. Steph says Civilization, what is that? 6, is it? Yeah. Civilization 6. Also, too, they showed, might have been, no, 7. Didn't they show 7? Yeah, they showed 7. Yeah. 7 was shown. Let me see if I can skip to that if it's on here. Are you guys excited for Goat Simulator?
Absolutely not.
I felt actually kind of disrespected. I felt slightly disrespected because I've seen all these old games and I'm like, and you know me, Umbra. I got like a bunch of old consoles and stuff like that. So I haven't seen all these old games. And I'm like, what are they talking about? What are they doing over here?
Yeah.
What do they got cooking? And then all of a sudden once I seen the goat, I was like, you bastard. I was like, you bastard, you did it again. And of course, it said Goat Simulator Remastered. And I'm like, you guys don't even need this.
I was so annoyed when I saw it. I'm not going to lie. I felt the same way. I was like, okay, what could this be? What could this be? I saw a goat. I'm like, oh, damn Goat Simulator. So for Civilization 7, are you guys, Danny, this might be up your alley. I know it's something Riskit plays as well. My buddy Casual likes it. I know Steph mentioned it as well.
Yeah.
This looks really good. It's not my type. I don't think I'm good at these types of games. I've tried playing one before and I was just decimated. But is this up your alley? You guys' alley? Would you give this a try?
This should be up my alley. I'm really big on strategy games. I'm really big on honestly like civilization building games. Like I love the Total War games and all that stuff. For some reason, Civ has just like never clicked for me. There's something about it where I'm just like bored. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. Will I give this one a shot? Maybe.
It looks good. I'll give them.
Yeah,
that.
I have some friends who I know who will be really big on it, and I will ask them if it's good, and they'll say yes, and I won't believe them, and then I'll probably end up playing it with them anyway. And that's pretty much the trajectory on this game for me.
Yeah. So they got that out or coming out rather. Pre-order and wish list this right now. Wish list this right now, should I say? I don't think they put a release date for it though, did they? Let's see. Oh, coming February 11th. So February 11th, 2025. There you go. Sid Meier's Civilization 7 coming to all platforms, even Switch. So interesting. Switch. They probably have Switch 2 out by that point, maybe, right? Nah, maybe not. You know what? Let me skip to this one because this one, since it was mentioned, Little Nightmares 3. Ray mentioned this one. What's up, TZ? He shouted you out too, Danny.
Oh, hey.
And Ham to you too. Yeah, this looks really good. You know what? I still have to play through part 2. I played through part 1. Really atmospheric. I mean, the game speaks for itself if you look at it. Creepy, creative, how you have to solve puzzles to get through. And intense, like somewhat intense because you have these tense moments where this gigantic human or whatever will catch you. I still don't quite understand what we are in this world. I don't know if we like little dwarfs or something. I don't know what's going on here. But it is a very interesting game. Looks really, really good. And this right here is a co-op experience, as you can see. I think they had that in part 2, though. Am I wrong about that, guys in the chat?
Little Nightmares 2. Yeah, that had co-op.
Yeah, that's what I thought I remember seeing. I didn't
play it in co-op, but it was the Little Nightmare games are pretty good. If I remember right, isn't it like 1 was made by one studio and then 2 and I guess now 3 are made by different studios?
You could be right. Let me look into it.
Is that right? There's something weird going on with like the studios there. But the game looks good. I mean, this is sort of, I know I've said it like 3 times now, but it's just because I feel like the caliber of announcement in this showcase was pretty lacking. This is another one where I'm like, it looks good, but like, am I gonna play it? No. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, it says Tarsier. It says we are the creators behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2 and this PSVR exclusive title called Static, and they are making another game which was shown, I'm sure you guys saw it, called Reanimal. But yeah, so it seems like they've made both, I guess. Yeah, Tarsier, they made them both. Maybe it's the publisher.
Maybe.
Because they were published by Bandai Namco, so maybe that was a change with that. I don't know. But this looks really interesting. Gray, I know you're excited for this, right, Gray? Let me see. What else do we have? Let me skip back. You guys excited for this? Monster Hunter Wilds?
I am actually, yeah. This didn't sell me on it any more than I already was, but yeah, it's gonna be a really good game. I really got into World a lot. Kind of skipped the middle one there that was a Switch exclusive for a minute. But this looks good. Yeah, like I'm a fan of this series, I guess now. So this is, of all of the things that were shown in this entire showcase, this is probably like top 3 for me.
It looks pretty good. I gotta give them that.
Yeah,
it seems like they improved the visuals a little bit to me.
Definitely, yeah. They're kind of like, basically the only new thing that I learned from this trailer was like, there's a spider in this one, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
A breakdancing spider. You saw it breakdancing?
Yeah, and it wasn't breakdancing like that Australian lady either.
Right. You Australians owe us some type of recompense. Gray.
Have you gotten onto your other podcast friends about that one, Pete and them?
I mentioned it in chats and made fun of them in it. Yes, but I haven't talked about it too much in the on the podcast.
You gotta get them.
I have to. And then what's crazy is that's the last time they'll have breakdancing inside the Olympics. They said they're not bringing it back. So
yeah, I mean, it went pretty bad.
Yeah,
so it's a shame. Well, because this is kind of off topic. The whole story behind it is that like originally Australia wanted to try and get ballroom dancing in, and they couldn't, and so somehow it like spun, and then they're like, "We'll let you do breakdancing," and they went bet. So
that's a shame.
So here we are.
You know, apparently that lady and her husband set that up so they can get into the Olympics, and wouldn't allow anyone else to participate or something like that, or they manipulated.
Yeah, there was I don't know that story. I just know that she like somehow got like cheated in, which sucks because now she's kind of ruined it as an Olympic sport for people who actually were good at it and wanted to do it.
She really did.
So, what a dickhead.
Yeah. The Monster Hunter Wilds weather looks really good to me. This was another one that looks really good. Dying Light the Beast. And this one is interesting. I actually wrote some notes and stuff like that for this one. This one is interesting because they're not doing it as they typically do it, which was I think the first few games was like 40, 60-hour games, right? If you try to do everything in it. This right here is specifically made to only be a 20-hour long story game. So it's an interesting approach that they have right here. And they could have easily put it for, a little DLC or anything if they want an expansion.
You want to hear something even more fun about it?
What's that?
If you purchase the Ultimate Edition of Dying Light 2, you automatically get to play this game.
Really? When you say play, you mean get this copy of it, or you just get like early access?
You get to play that game.
What do you mean exactly? What do you mean by that?
Well, if I must, I guess I'll look it up and tell you specifics about it.
Thank you. So this right here is interesting
because I do that, and I'll bring it back up.
All right. So they have a co-op in this, but it's 4-player co-op. I know previous ones. I played part 1. I didn't finish it, but I did play through part 1 a bit. And I know you can do co-op in there a little bit. This looks way better, by the way. It looks really good. It almost looks You know what? I would dare say it looks as good as Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2, I thought was a looker. It looked pretty damn good to me. This looks really good, this game. Yeah, it's evolved a lot. I know they have driving sections and all that type of stuff in other ones too. So yeah, the whole parkour thing is Techland making. Yeah, I like Techland a lot.
What's the new one called?
The Dying Light the Beast. So yeah, I'm liking a lot of what I'm seeing. They got 4-player co-op. I wonder how that works exactly. Sounds very interesting right there to me. You can play 4-player co-op, or you can play it solo. It's up to you. When is it release? It says no specific release date that I see, unfortunately. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get this on Steam. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, you want me to read this?
Yes, please.
All right, so it says here from I mean this is a website, Men's Journal, but I didn't initially hear it from here. I heard it from somewhere else, but they have an article about it, and they said Dying Light, the Beast will be free for many gamers. Here's how you can get the next Dying Light game for free, which is very, kind of, whatever, the way that they wrote the title. But inside the article, it says Techland surprised everyone at Gamescom on Open Night Live this week by announcing Dying Light the Beast. The project started as a DLC for Dying Light 2, but evolved into a standalone game featuring the original game's protagonist, Kyle Crane. Techland has now surprised fans of the Dying Light franchise by announcing that Dying Light, the Beast, will be free for owners of Dying Light 2, but there's a catch. Only those who purchase the Ultimate Edition of Dying Light 2, Stay Human, will get Dying Light, the Beast, in a free content update. That next major update will also bring a new expansion to the game called Bloody Tide. So there you go.
They must have changed plans then. Is that how old is that article?
They did change plans. They canceled the DLC that they were planning on doing and made this standalone. But if you have the Ultimate Edition, I think what they're trying to do is prop up game sales for Dying Light 2, obviously, but at the same time still be able to provide something without it being like a standalone DLC. I think they just instead of making a DLC, they want more people just to be able to buy the game.
I see.
That haven't bought the game. So now you get a lot instead of just a piece. Nice. Especially since it's only like 20 hours.
Okay, cool. Now
layoff season, bruh.
Layoff season indeed. Now you're a fighting fan, a game fan, right, Ham?
Well, fighters?
Yeah, for fighters in video games.
Like, are you talking about Mortal Kombat fighters?
Something like that, sure. Now on the screen right here,
I don't know.
They're showing Dragon Ball Sparking. What is it? Sparking Zero? Is it?
Okay, I am a fan of Dragon Ball Z, and I like fighting games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
I am excited for Sparking Zero. Sparkling, whatever.
I thought it was Sparkling too for a long time. I did.
Sparking Zero. Okay, so it is Sparking.
Yep.
Yeah, I am very excited for that game. I'm not excited enough that I'm going to be getting it day one, but I am excited enough to know that I need to get it at some point because they added a lot of characters in that game that they didn't have in previous games, and then on top of it, it's from the so famous people that made Tenkaichi. So it should be like a superb game.
It looks really good, I have to say. It seems that they get better and better when it comes to the cell shading visuals in games like this. It looks really good. Yeah, this comes out October 11th of this year. You get to get it 3 days earlier.
At 60 FPS minimum.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is more reason. I hate to keep saying it. More reason for PC. Though this should be able to get 60 on console, I would say. I think. They showed some stuff about Street Fighter 6. Oh, this is Terry, I think. Bogart, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Looks pretty cool. Got on the tight Patrick Swayze jeans. Okay, I see you, Terry. he hasn't updated his look since the 90s. I'm going to fast forward past that. He looks pretty dope, though. Oh, this is what got us right here, Danny. and Ken Ham. We saw all this happening. We're like, okay, what's this?
Yeah, see, let's not do this.
Look at that person's face.
Let's not do this.
A pony going by, of
This
course.
This is a reminder of disappointment.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, Skyrim, what the hell's happening here?
Right. Then he's opening this up like he's going to see the Doom Slayer or something. And this demonic looking thing stands up with a tattoo on his back. Love, hate on his knuckles. In this case, the hooves.
Yeah, I don't know. I was watching this at work and this trailer came on and I was like, is this just like a bit? Because they were showing the Grand Theft Auto remaster and like making fun of other remasters. And I was like, is this gonna be a game? And then they said it's Goat Simulator. And before I even knew that it was just a remaster of the first game, I was like, I could not possibly care less. You could not pay me money to care about this game. This game has had so many sequels, and I have to assume it's only because the game has like a budget of a ham and cheese sandwich and a one hit off somebody else's vape pen. I don't get it. I don't understand why this game has become popular. I have played one that was on Game Pass at some point, and I was like, no, enough is enough.
Yeah, it's like trolling that you're gaming almost if you like play that game. It's either that or it's for little kids. Like I watched that trailer and I was like, man, what's going on? Like this next control looks crazy. Like what's going on here? And then it showed the goat, man. I was just angry.
I
Like,
can definitely see the control visuals. I can see that.
When like I don't like this game, I let my daughter play it, but one thing I will not allow my daughter to do is to play as a person on their knees crawling. Like if I catch her doing that, we shutting it down. Like we're not doing that. Like that's like you see the little commercial where the guy's like walking on his knees like he's a goat. I was like,
I saw it.
we ain't rocking like that. That's crazy.
So this right here is a remastered version of Goat Simulator right here. It looks like it's only coming to PlayStation 5, by the way.
I seen that.
They're gonna have it.
You're right. Have at it. Yeah, so that's another one the Xbox has been left out on, boys.
Well,
Were they left out, or
I tell you
did
what.
Goat Simulator not get the invite?
So we have another one here. I know a lot of people were excited for. My brother Funds was excited. Sniper Elite Resistance. Does this excite you guys? Does this do anything for I've never played any of the Sniper Elites. Not one.
It looks cool. I'm not
Looks a little
really
dated,
excited for it, but
Yeah.
they always do.
Yeah.
Like the last one that came out, the most recent one. I mean, playing that, it looked good but dated, and it's kind of like they like emphasize that, hey, this is this type of game. You're not going to get any other feeling out of it. That's it.
Yeah. I see you can do little stealth takedowns and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's all you can do stealth takedowns in the old ones too.
Okay, cool. I might have to give them a try because I like stealth type games like this, and it's cool to be able to snipe somebody from a distance. This one was interesting to me.
satisfying.
It looks like it. This one was very interesting. We have the actress here who has played in a few movies you all may have seen of her in Marvel. She played as the alternate version of Captain Marvel in what was it, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. She was the alternate universe version of her. I forgot her name right now, but she's been in more than a few movies. This looks pretty interesting, this game. Directive 8020. Did you guys see this right here?
I seen it. I didn't really understand what was going on.
Seems to be some
It looks
type
like
of-
it's gonna be cool, but like I just need to see gameplay.
If I had to guess, it looks like some type of thing, creature, or
Reminds me of
creatures.
Callisto Protocol.
A little bit. I hope it plays better than that. I did not like Callisto
Yeah,
personally.
for sure.
Black
That
Myth.
actress looks really familiar.
Oh yeah, you've seen her for sure. She's played in a few things.
It said PS5 only, so I don't know. I'm a little
Wait a minute.
nervous.
Was that also only PS5 only? Directed?
Like they're at the end of that trailer that you were just at.
Let me see.
Like I thought it said I didn't see Xbox there.
I mean, it's on Steam. On Wikipedia, it's currently announced for PlayStation 5, Windows, and Xbox Series X and S.
Oh, so there you go. It just says wish list on Xbox, and then it hurry up and cut to Black Myth. So
Yeah.
I didn't see it there, but
That was
so you said it is coming to Xbox?
That's what Wikipedia says.
it says
You know what-
Supermassive too. Supermassive does have ties with Sony.
I'm just kind of
not so
nervous
much
about it
anymore.
because of Callisto, and I'm also nervous about it because that what was that game that came to PS5 that was like we ain't putting it on Xbox or whatnot?
Oh, was it the like horror game that did really bad and sucked?
Yeah.
I don't.
Like I'm worried that game this game that they're showing right now might be something along that same line of like gameplay style.
I
So kind of
almost
slow
said
and the
Callisto
grudge,
Chronicles.
but not a whole lot of sustenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, this game right here is just cinematically great. I have to give them
Oh.
credit.
The actress is called Lashana Lynch, and she was
That's it.
the older Rambo from the Captain Marvel movies.
That's right. She's also Rambo in the Captain Marvel movies, as well as the actual Captain Marvel in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yes. Yes.
I have so much more to go in Black Myth. All this stuff I'm seeing, I'm like, damn. No more room in hell. It's you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sure is.
I'm a pass.
I don't know. It's Steam only, and I don't really want to do tech support on another game this month. So kinda good. I'd rather play games than mess around with their
Be the beta
settings for 6
tester.
hours and then be like, it runs at 120 frames per second. Wow.
Now this
I gotta
game.
get back to the asylum now.
Now this game, Infinity Nikki, we saw this. I guess shown at, I forgot where at. Wait, was it Sony that showed this first?
I think they might have, but Xbox also showed it at one of their showcases. Because I remember talking to a friend about it and being like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Apparently, there are some news about this. Where is it? Okay, yes. 12 million people have pre-registered for the PS5 dress-up game Infinity Nikki.
Look, man,
12
times are tough on
million.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
A lot of games coming out. We gotta play that dress-up game with the cat.
It's
Yeah.
a different time. Actually, you know what? Finally, the Barbie games hit their stride. Like,
Yeah, this one's
congratulations! I'm all set.
probably hornier than those, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure they are. But
There's some
if,
people
but,
putting
but
this
if
game
you
in a
ever
jar.
seen those Barbie games back in the day, some of those were.
I'll be real with you. I don't have
No.
a lot of experience with those games, but I'm glad that someone here did.
I have a daughter, and I had a little sister. I had a stepsister that let me play a game. Whenever we went to a Hollywood Video or a Blockbuster, let me rent something too. And then I had and then you got to take the breaks that you don't want to take off of the game on the weekends and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
You end up get a few trash games in there, and you're like, ugh, this is terrible. And then the little sister or cousin or something like that wants your help in the game, and then you got to see it play.
Right, and that's why you're super good at Barbie Horse Adventure.
Sure. I mean, hey man, if my daughter wants to learn, I'm a teacher at a game. I just hope that she
Yeah.
chooses better games when she gets older.
So it looks like the Nikki series. I've been looking it up while we've been talking. It looks like there's a whole series of these games. There's Infinity Nikki, Love Nikki, Shiny Nikki. Like, this is a big deal
Wow.
in like China or something.
Mhm.
It's a dress up game and like a, I don't know, just like a lifestyle type thing, I guess.
It
don't
seems
know.
like a lifestyle kind of thing from what I saw.
I cannot find for the life of me like a Wikipedia page that just describes what this game is. So I'm having to read like press releases, and it's not helping.
Yeah. I think they need to find out what they want to be too. So that's part of the problem. But
They can
yeah.
have it.
Thank you, Vinny. I see that. Yes, you're right. We need to get energized. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. Danny, this is on your
I'm excited
radar.
for this one. It is. I really like the Life is Strange games because they make me feel things and want to cry. And this is just that. I really like that series. I really like Tell Me Why. I've really liked. God, what was the other one that they did? I don't know. There's a lot of the ones that the first. Oh, is this Don't Nod or is this the other one?
This is
Deck Nine?
Don't Nod right here. Yeah.
Don't Nod. Yeah. So they've done the first Life is Strange, and they also did, I think, like Before the Storm and a couple other things.
Love the Life is Strange. Yep. Very good game.
So I'm very excited for this. I hope it's not a full $70 because I don't really want to pay that for a game that's probably going to be very short. But if it's like $50, it's day one. If it's $60, it's day two.
I hope it's priced reasonably. I see something like $30-$40. That seems right. I will say visually it looks pretty good.
It looks really good.
Probably their best looking game overall that they've made so far.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's another one coming out. It's not by Don't Nod. It's by the team that took over the Life is Strange series, which I think is called Deck Nine. But there's another Life is Strange movie or game rather. They're basically a movie coming out later this year. I think like November or something. The Double Exposure. So us in the games about feeling sad fandom, eating good, doing great.
There you go. Tape 1, it says February the 18th of next year. It's another game releasing February the 18th. What is that?
I don't know.
I forgot. And then the second tape 2, March 18th. Wiki wish list is now. I'm going to enjoy this. I might just play this on Xbox and keep it moving from there. By the way, I thought this might have been coming to Game Pass. It's not coming to Game Pass, right?
Bloom and Rage? I couldn't tell you. It might not.
Okay.
I'll look it up for you.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is. Don't Nod, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Steam. Using Unreal Engine. I should have known. That would explain why it's so nice looking.
Hey, you know.
What
is that laugh? Get out of here. Get out of my face.
Let me read the super chat from my boy Vinny. Vinny Testaverde drops a $5 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says a little something to get you energized. Yes, thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. This right here actually had me very hyped.
Jets.
Yes. Y'all see you caught on. See, I think you're the only one that knew what I meant by that.
I'm a football fan.
Well, there you go. Vinny Testaverde. But
He's like a freaking Hall of Fame Jets quarterback.
That's right.
He must have been from a while ago then. Jets haven't done well in a long time.
It's been a minute.
It was definitely a long time ago. It was like Mean Joe Green days.
Yeah, it was a bit back. So this right here looks really damn good. I've always thought it did since they first shown it, but man, hype. Path of Exile 2. You guys excited for this? You gonna jump on that? Brings back the Diablo vibes, obviously, if you guys have not played Diablo.
I was gonna say I really thought it was Diablo for a hot minute. I thought they were showing off the new expansion. I don't know, I'll probably play it. Do I need to play the first one first? Have you played the series?
No, I've never played the series, but I'm going to play this one.
I'm gonna tell you no unless you need to know the story.
Yeah,
I think you'll be fine. Personally, I mean, you could always look up some lore stuff on YouTube anyway. I feel, some of these games I feel like it's hard to go back to and try to get into it versus the modern version of what they are now. I will say,
I think the first one's free on Xbox or something like that, or it was.
It might be. Yeah, you might be right. I might have it in my collection while I'm talking. What I will say is what I like on this is the particle effects and stuff like that, and destruction. If you look at that, look how well animated that is. From the guy scratching the floor and fire that explodes, electricity.
Sorry, what?
All of those things. Intrusive thoughts went out with Danny. But all those things.
They didn't win out. That's just all I got. I don't have other thoughts.
It looks pretty damn good, I have to say. Just visually, it's really nice. Look at that. smash the hammer down and cause the destruction, the fire, the lasers, lightning. Everything looks really, really good. Very excited for this. This has always been a free-to-play game. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know in particular. I just know that game is like what you play if Diablo isn't enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, Diablo is enough. Like that game's a much more confusing version of Diablo.
I've heard it was really crazy when it came to like the skill tree and everything like that, and how in depth it is. Yep. This right here is coming out November 15th of this year, early access at least. I'm definitely checking it out. You guys in the chat, are you excited for this? Vinny says his Path of Exile 2 is just a revamped version of the first one, so it's not technically the second game. Vinny,
So I don't need to play the first one, is what you're saying.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Thanks, Vinny. I know I could count
I'm
on you.
all set on this game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it out. This looks really interesting. Now, I've never played any MMOs.
Now we're talking my language.
This is your language here.
This right? Well, I'm a person that loved Ark Survival Evolved.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So
Which
this
is
game is
kind of what this is, right?
In a way,
Pretty
Gameplay wise,
it
looks
pretty
like
much
Dune.
is. It is Ark with an extracting aspect added to it.
Well, I mean,
Instead
less.
of
I
like,
love
just the-
extracting.
But the cool thing about the whole like extracting part is it's more or less optional. Like you don't really have to like compete with other players if you don't want to. You could just do other like that's what I thought was insanely cool about this game compared to Ark. Is Ark lacked story like at all. Like all it had.
The second one's gonna have Vin Diesel in it, so
yeah, which I'm
I
very
mean-
excited for that next Ark. I'm very excited for it. Hopefully they have the 69 Charger RT. It'd be great. But
yeah.
But as for this game, like I actually went and seen some of the creators for this game. Ignatius is one of the guys that I talked to while I was out at PAX East. And I got to see like a little bit of a background of this game and whatnot. And it's just like, if you're into just, as you can see right here, it's kind of like infiltrating bases and stuff like that. If you're into that, you could do that in this game, which you cannot do anything like that in like an Ark game or a Conan Exile or anything like that. Like there's stuff to kill and things to do in those games and whatnot. But this game almost feels much more mission based, so it brings out that like fun, ready to go back and get down aspect, instead of feeling like I'm hopping into like an Ark and what am I crafting today, and like you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can join somebody and just hop in when they want to go into fights and stuff like that. But they do have the ability to build, as you guys can see right here.
Yeah.
But you will have to like mine and stuff like that to collect. So there will be that kind of tediousness with it that some people may not all be for. But in case you're not with that stuff, you can still be part of the fight and actually like kind of dungeon crawl or something like that, I guess, or go to other bases and loot them out and stuff like that. But from what I understand, Ignatius and them saying back at PAX East is that there will be dedicated PvP areas and PvE areas, so you won't so you'll pretty much know what kind of area that you're going into, which is interesting because there's not a lot of games that implement that within the same map, right? So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Danny, what about you with Dune Awakening? Did this pique your interest right here?
No, I really like Dune.
He
I've
like,
read the
no.
book. No. I really like Dune. I like the movies. I like the books. This is just not my style of game. That like, just Ark, just that sort of thing never spoke to me. The like crafting survival thing is just it's not my bag.
Okay.
This is a kind of situation where like if some of my friends were like, hey, we really want to play this game, will you play it with us? I'd be like, sure. But outside of that, I will not think of this game again.
Well, I'll say I get a lot of what both you guys are saying. It's not my type of game typically. I don't play MMOs like that, but this does look really good.
It does look good. Yeah.
It's really team oriented. So hopping in there by yourself,
Yeah.
you can get stuff done and you can have a good time, but if you don't have a couple other people with you, even if you have AI helping you work on it and stuff like that, like if you don't have actual other people with you, it will feel really slow.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know who I have to play this with, Ham. You're gonna have to volunteer your services to help me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit me up whenever you're trying to get down. I'm getting this day one.
Nice. Yeah, I think
Okay.
I might jump on board, man. I
This
might
entire
jump on
time I've been watching the beta gameplay for Infinity Nikki to try and figure out what the hell this game is. I think I figured it out.
board. What is
I'm
it?
pretty sure I've cracked the code. It's like it's a very light open world like action RPG where the different clothes that you put on give you different powers. So she's got this like blue dress that lets her glide. She's got like a green dress that lets her shoot like tornadoes. A red dress where she can throw fireballs. It's just like an open world RPG where your powers are clothing based. So
That's
I don't know. Yeah, calling it a dressing game feels like almost underselling it, wherever like IGN or whoever was calling it that.
that's very odd, but hey, more power to him.
Yeah.
We were speaking of Tressier a minute ago, and this is the Reanimal game I was talking about.
Somebody in the chat said something. They're like asking if Arc 2. Yeah, Gray Monad asked if Arc 2 is still coming out later this year. I wouldn't put your money on it whatsoever. Studio Wildcard is constantly in turmoil, and to expect them to be on time with anything is just silly. Like my boy Loke says, past performances inform you on future results. And that is just a team that I love what they can create, but I would not trust them with anything time-wise.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because wasn't there like even like a remastered version or something? There's like some different version of the first Arc game.
Yeah. It's Arc Survival Ascended. I have that game as well. I didn't put near as much time as that as I put into Arc Survival Evolve. I only put like 10 days into Arc Survival Ascended, but but I mean that's compared to 150.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. You got me. That's a lot of time.
So yeah, that one's just an Arc Survival Evolved remaster. Essentially, it's just bringing everything to Unreal Engine 5, and I think they're kind of using it as a practice tool to get ready for Arc 2. Which is smart of them to do while still, but they had to pretty much wipe away the old Arc, where you can only play that pretty much single player now, and you had to pretty much purchase the Arc Survival Ascended, which is kind of scummy. I thought that was kind of lame, but yeah, they're working on that. They got that out, but that came out like 6 months late.
Gotcha.
And then like. That was supposed to be like I think buying that was supposed to be buying Arc 2, but then they walked that back and made it a separate purchase, and then told you if you want to get Arc 2, you're gonna have to do that. It's a mess. Well, Studio Wildcard's a freaking mess. So just expect Arc 2 to be late.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
If I had to guess, I would say the same.
If it's on time, it's broken. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If it's on time, it is broken.
If you don't see Vin Diesel and his family in there, you know something's wrong. I can. I'm not too excited for Arc. That's never really been my thing. But I'm the type where if I play those types of games, I have to have a buddy of mine who can help. Like for instance, with Pal World, I had a buddy help me with that and get me on my feet. Like I can't get into those by myself because I'm like I don't want to go hunt and gather and all that. I don't want to do all that. But with somebody helping, it made it that much more enjoyable to do. This was another fighting game, of course, Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves looks pretty good.
City of the thickness is more
City
like
of the
it.
thickness, indeed. You
Jeez
know.
Louise.
Yeah, we're the
I almost had to
wolves.
cover my phone in public when I was watching.
Ah,
Good almighty.
this is coming in. What are you watching? This, by the way, I don't know if you guys are excited for this. Not really up my alley, but Genshin Impact is finally coming to the Xbox. Anybody excited for that in the chat? You guys excited for this?
I'll play it.
Now, what is the purpose of Genshin? What are you doing there?
It's just a Zelda game, basically.
Yeah.
It's just a big open world RPG, but you swap between characters and the different characters have different powers. Like it's
an ongoing Immortals Phoenix Rising.
sort of. I think it's better than Immortals Phoenix Rising, but it's not a ton better. Like it's huge. Every time that they add like these new expansions that they add, it adds like hundreds of hours of gameplay. Like we're talking about like MMO expansion level expansions, and there's been like 6 of them now or something. Like the game's huge, and I have barely scratched the surface on the account that I played in on my PlayStation a while ago, and it's a fun game. I don't know if I ever wake up one day and I'm like, I want to play just one game for the next 6 years, I'll know which one to go to.
Well, hey, more power to you. It does look really good. It's colorful. It's nice. November 20th is its release date for Xbox. Long time coming.
You got a game like that.
Yeah. Long time coming.
But I got ARC, so I get it.
Yeah.
Or I had ARC. I don't really play it as much anymore.
My brother's what's his name? Pete is big into ARC too, by the way. So yeah, they got Marvel's Rivals now. Marvel Rivals. They got the launch date is December 6th of this year.
That's not out yet. I
Not
thought
yet.
people have been playing this for a minute. Has it just been betas?
The beta, yeah. Early access beta. They got Captain America.
Yeah.
They got Bucky.
Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. Chi-Town. This looks pretty good, I gotta say. The more I see of it, but I'm not into hero shooters much. It's not really my bag.
Yeah.
But
If it's good, it's one of those things. It's like, is this free to play? I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, that's
Is
that's
it
really it.
not? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's free to play, right?
It is.
Am I crazy?
I think
Okay.
so.
I'll give it a shot.
Gonna get it. I might try it, I guess. Why not? I should.
Yeah, I don't see myself sticking with it. It's not a type of game that I usually play a lot of, but it looks good. It's getting good buzz. Like I will absolutely play this for the conversation, if nothing else.
Yes, that's a good point. I think I'll do the same. At least to have an understanding of it. I would have tried it out. Dr. Doom. Oh.
Show me the Robert Downey skin that I'm in.
December 6th, 2024. Wish this now. Yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be fun. I think that's what it was. It was this, and I think Concord. Somebody was mentioning like how Concord is about to be buried by this, which is I see that being the truth. Yeah,
I really think, and this sort of speaks also to the indie conversation that I assume we're about to start. If Concord is not on Xbox in the next like 6 months, then it'll be dead in the next 6 months. It literally needs to be on as many platforms as possible because that hoe is not moving.
Yeah.
She ain't breathing. She needs a lifeline.
Yeah. I see
It ain't even out yet, and y'all murdering it.
that
Damn.
game is done for, man.
You got no faith? No faith?
No faith. None. I will say I love the art style of Marvel Rivals. I really love their aesthetics.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals is interesting. I thought you were
You
saying
didn't
Concord
even
for a
talk
second, and
about
I
it.
was like, nah.
Damn.
No.
We just jumped straight back. It was like, well, she's dead, Jim.
Yeah.
Get back.
Yeah,
Let's get
she's
back
yeah.
to the real game.
Oh yeah, Concord is over with. I'm not even concerning myself with that. We saw that Delta Force looks interesting a little bit. This looks really good to me, actually. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Did you guys see the trailer for this?
Honestly, I don't remember the trailer. I think I must have seen it because I watched it, but I don't remember the trailer at all. No.
I have one more game to show, then we'll move to our main discussion and we'll get out of here. We don't have to keep it long. I mean, I just want to get you guys full thoughts on it. And on the main topic, but Kingdom Come 3 2 rather looks really, really good. Visually, it's really solid. It's a step up from the first game. It looks like they've gotten the combat even more refined. I'm liking what I'm seeing, man, a lot. I'm really, really liking it. You guys in the chat, are you excited for this right here? Have you played part 1? Let me know what's up. Yeah, what's you guys' thoughts on this? Kingdom Come 2. You guys thinking of getting this? Maybe trying to get out?
I wouldn't mind giving this a try. I think it looks pretty solid. I'm not really into that. I'm not really into those kind of worlds that much, like the old
Medieval.
like kind of like medieval. Yeah, thank you, medieval. Or yeah. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. But if it has a story and the gameplay is legit, then shit, fuck the way the area looks. I'll play it. Like, I'm not even a big fan of the world of Cyberpunk, but the game is fun. It's a good game, so I enjoy playing it.
Now, this one got me a lot because I've been hyped for this ever since I first saw a teaser posted about it on Twitter. The first Berserker, Kazan. It's apparently in the DNF universe. I didn't know that. Looks damn good. And this is by
DNF is.
I don't either. I know some type of fighting
I have no idea.
universe. I got a free game with them off Epic Up like over a week ago. But whatever this universe is, the DNF, I have to say the way that they're approaching this, I really love. We were talking about the cell shaded kind of visuals in Dragon Ball. This has it a bit, but it's like mixed with a realistic aesthetic as well. It looks really, really sharp, and it contrasts really, really nice. And the combat is just crazy, on like exciting and energizing from what I've watched. It looks really dope. Super excited for this title. Actually signed up for the beta. I don't know if, by the way, you guys can sign up. This first come, first serve, I think. Xbox options are all going, so I have to sign up for PS5. But super excited for this game. Definitely getting it. Anybody else in the chat thinking of getting this? Spartan661 drops a generous $19.99 donation. He says, it's been a long day and I'll catch it on the replay. You trying to rhyme? I see you. It's been a long day and I'll catch it on the replay. I hear you. All right. Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. Listen, let's move to this main topic, man, so we can get out of here.
Yes.
This situation came up, of course, with Indiana Jones, and as I put the title for this show, I put Indiana Jones and the many platforms. So we had already heard news from several trusted, I guess, insiders, leakers, that there will be a Xbox game that will be announced, a big game they put that will be announced to go to PlayStation. Now, Danny, me and you, we talked about this before. Ham, I know you talked about it on your shows. It's no surprise that any of these games would be going over. Some more games would be going over. Because a lot of people had got it a little diluted and confused and said, Phil lied to us. He said it would only be those 4. It's like, that's not what he said.
That's not what he said at all, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go to you first.
Low.
I'll go to you first, Danny, then I'll let you close it out, Ham. Just on your general thoughts of this right here, with it being Indiana Jones, and how do you feel about them doing it? Does it? And I'll ask questions along the way, I suppose. But go ahead, give me your thoughts on that.
My only problem that I have with this is that I think the timing of the announcement is bad. I think that they probably should have given the normal release date, and then like a while after it came out on Xbox, been like, and it's coming to PlayStation later. Because I think that it kind of takes a little bit of the hype out of it for the Xbox audience. That being said, I have no problem with this going to PlayStation. I think that we are very fast, and I've said this 100 times on this show and others, like, I'm sure say it 100 more times. We are very quickly accelerating to a future in which console exclusive, even first party games, are just timed exclusives, with maybe the exception of Nintendo, because they're like a decade behind everyone else in terms of like the future. I mean, we look at this realistically, and it's like, I understand people getting in their like console wars mindset and being like, oh, but if other people can play Indiana Jones, then I can't make fun of them for not playing Indiana Jones. And like, I get that. I love making fun of people as much as the next guy. But at the same time, it's like, number one, this is really good business sense. They're going to sell a ton more copies. It'll probably, honestly, especially with a game like Indiana Jones, where we've seen how aggressive the like amount of money you have to pay for these royalties for Disney stuff is like extremely high. It's probably not as bad as Spider-Man because it's not as big of a franchise, but still, I'm sure it's a lot. This is a kind of game where you do specifically want to make as much money off this as possible, and selling it on another platform makes a lot of sense. I don't know why they wouldn't do it. And I know people are probably like, oh, but now I don't have any reason to buy an Xbox. I'll just wait and play it on my PlayStation. And I think like, hey, first of all, go ahead, do that. They don't care. Like you'll spend $70 over it on there. 70% of that will go to Xbox. They'll be thrilled. They'll be happy with it. They don't really care that much. Mm-hmm. And the other side of it is like, I think strongly there are two types of gamers. There are ones who they want to be part of the conversation immediately, and they will play it where it is when it comes out. And then there are ones who don't really care, and they'll wait until it comes to the platform that they're already on. I don't necessarily think that this is the kind of game that would have caused people to like swap platforms anyway. From what we've seen of it, like it looks good, but it doesn't look like, oh my god, it's this big, groundbreaking, amazing game that's gonna like change the world.
Right.
So I don't see people switching platforms anyway. Like the only reason I can see an Xbox player being upset about this is because it like kind of lowers bragging rights for them. But realistically, you're getting the game earlier than PlayStation is getting it. You're getting it on Game Pass potentially, depending on what tier you have, right? Like you are the primary VIP customer for this game, 100%. Like that's what it is. And for the people who are like, oh well, you know, Xbox is going out of business. No, they're not. They're making more money than ever. I said this earlier, in every single category except hardware, their money is up through the absolute roof. It is stratospheric, the rise in financials that they have had lately. And a lot of that comes down to them sort of thinking outside the box and being like, we've been stuck in this idea of like exclusivity is the only way to make money in this business. And it's like, it's not. I don't think that this means that they're going to stop making hardware if they start putting up their other stuff on other platforms. I really don't. I don't think that makes any sense. I think they will always want to have a platform where they make 100% of the profits. I think that we know for a fact actually that they very heavily regret stopping the Windows Phone for exactly that reason. Having a platform is extremely important and powerful. I don't even think that them putting their games on other platforms will like lower the amount of console sales that they see. I really don't. And especially because people might forget this, PlayStation was the first dude to put stuff on other platforms. They've been putting MLB The Show on Xbox for what, like 4 years now? And not just on Xbox, but in Game Pass day one. Not only are they putting it on other platforms, but they're putting it so that it is more accessible and a better financial choice to play it on another platform. And PlayStation's doing fine as far as that's concerned, and we know in future that they're going to
more
continue
for them
to
to
make
do
choices.
that than it was to get rid of the license.
Exactly. And we know that in future they're going to continue to do this. I heavily suspect that Concord's coming to Xbox probably sooner rather than later. We know that Marathon's coming to Xbox. We know that Lego Horizon game is going to Switch. Like, they are seeing the money that Sea of Thieves is making on their platform, and they're going, why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we making that money? Because their financials are still good, but not doing as well as Xbox or Nintendo. I know that people sit here and tell me every single week that PlayStation is, you know, they are the leader of this market. They are the people in charge here. In terms of console sales, that might be true. I think Switch has probably outpaced them by this point, though. But when you look at like who's making the most money, who is changing this industry, who is making steps towards the future, PlayStation is in last place on that. And they have been for a long time.
Innovation has never really been their strongest suit.
It has not been their strong suit.
Yeah.
Since the start of Xbox, they have been the ones who have made the big move, gotten shit on for it, and then everyone else went, oh, but they're making a lot of money, and then following suit. It's happened over and over and over again, and it's going to happen here too. And the thing is, I think it's ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous, that it is the consumers that are complaining about this. If you are a stockholder or something, or like on the board, and you're like, oh, but this might devalue my stock, which it won't, but I understand you, at least in that case, caring if that was the case.
Right.
But it's the consumers or like the fanboys who are getting upset about this. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, you're still getting the game. You're still playing the game. You're probably going to start getting games from PlayStation. I won't even count that in the conversation, but in no way does this hurt you on Xbox. As an Xbox player, in no way does this hurt you. You're still getting the game. It's going to make more money, which means realistically, it'll be more likely to get like a sequel if you like it, right? So this is a win-win across the board for everyone, especially if and when PlayStation starts doing it too. The publishers will start making more money. The console manufacturers will start making more money. The game will see more players. The games that you like will get more love and get more attention and make more money and be more likely to be successful. Like, I don't understand, outside of like petty fanboyism, why any second of this move is a bad thing. I understand being uncomfortable about it because it's sort of unproven in this moment of like, oh, will it turn out to be a bad idea? If in the future it turns out to be a bad idea and PlayStation doesn't end up following, they can just stop doing it. Like, there's no, this is not like, oh, well, we said that we were going to put these specific games on PlayStation.
We
Which means
lied.
all of our stuff forever is going to go on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is a really great example of this is Disney right now.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Iger left Disney and this other guy came in whose name I don't remember right now, and it doesn't super matter.
Wait, Bob
And he was
Iger
like-
left recently?
No, he left and then he ended up coming back.
Oh, okay.
But there in the middle there was this other guy whose name I don't remember.
Yeah.
And that middle guy didn't understand the value of the parks. And so he started like slowly gutting them, right? He took out like a lot of the parades and a lot of the shows and a lot of the, you know, sort of tertiary things. And then we saw attendance in the parks start dropping off. And he was like, look, people aren't going. And it's like, yeah, because you closed a bunch of stuff and took out all the fun. So Bob Iger came back in because that guy turned out to be just really bad at his job in a number of ways. And Bob Iger is a bad person, but good at his job. So they brought him back in. He's really good at making money and not very good at making friends. So they brought him back in. And one of the first things he did was at this D23. I mean, we didn't talk about it because I didn't know if our fan base would care. I'm a big fan of theme parks, which is the only reason I know all of this. And he was like, hey, so we're bringing back a bunch of the stage shows. We're bringing back a bunch of the parades. We're adding a bunch of rides. They're like doubling the size of the Avengers campus. They're adding a villains park. You know, they are expanding the parks in a way that they have not expanded since like the 80s. And it's drummed up huge like excitement for the Disney parks in a way that hasn't existed in a long time. And I say that to say, like, if this turns out to not work out financially, Microsoft has proven over and over again that the second something doesn't make sense for their bottom line, they will cut it out and they will do anything else. So don't worry about it. If for even a second they look at their numbers and they're like, this is hurting our console or whatever, then they'll stop putting it on PlayStation. And until then, don't worry about it because it doesn't hurt you or affect you in any way. So I don't get it. I don't understand why people are mad about this.
It's tied to the tribalism for sure.
It's entirely tribalism, and
Yeah.
because and I see in the chat, Bushido, and you're right. PlayStation was forced to put MLB on Xbox, but they were still the first person to put it there. And I guarantee they saw the numbers that it was doing over there, and they went, "Damn, I'm kind of glad they made us do that."
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Also, they could have just been like, okay, well, we'll just put Sony San Diego on any other property. Like they made the choice to still put it there. They weren't forced necessarily. It was just, if you want to keep making these baseball games, then you're gonna have to put it on other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Which, to be fair, could also happen with Spider-Man literally any day now.
I feel like it will. They gave them that ultimatum. They have to meet it.
So
I think you hit it all out of the park, man.
thank you.
You did. I'm interested in seeing if you had a different take on it. What's your view on this? I know you spoke a bit about it as we began the show, but what's your whole overall take on this? Did it make you feel a way? Are you like, whatever, I'm still going to be able to play it? Do you think this diminishes Xbox in any way? Hurts the future for it? What's your thinking?
First of all, eat some ginger, cleanse your palate, get whatever Daniel said the fuck out of your head. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I feel like Daniel kind of knocked it out of the park there. In the sense of what does it matter to you? Kind of, right? But like, I understand like the whole tribalism and everything, and I feel like Xbox kind of allowed that to kind of happen for a while, because now it seems like they're kind of walking back the whole like competition of any time. Like there was never any kind of competition for them versus Sony. They were just kind of doing their own thing, right? But like, I feel like we as the community of Xbox and where we all come from, with having, you know, the whole rival aspect and everything, when we seen Bethesda, we thought there's the fight back.
Yeah.
When we seen Activision, we're like, oh, here comes the uppercut. Here comes the
haymaker.
You know, here comes the haymaker to knock it all out. Not
and
really,
instead that hand went behind the head and pulled him in for a kiss, and you went, "Whoa, hey!"
and that's kind of what happened, right? Is like, you know, he looked like he was about to hit you, and he ended up like giving you a noogie instead, and he was just like, "Hey, how you doing, bud?" And then he just suns you a little bit. And in my opinion, in the grand scheme for Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo, maybe us console, or you know, maybe us like fans of these different like platforms didn't realize it, but I feel like they kind of like, instead of fighting, they did grab the dude by the head and just give him a noogie, because it's just like, who gives you a noogie? Your homeboy ain't giving you a noogie. Only your big brother is doing that, or like big sister or something like that. So how do you think Microsoft, or not Microsoft, but Sony felt not wanting to be friends, but being forced to be friends with your sheer enemy? What Xbox did, and then on top of it, putting games onto their platform, what Xbox did, in my opinion, is absolutely diabolical from a corporate standpoint. From a fan's standpoint, we're looking at it as, you just disarmed yourself.
That's what it looks
We're
like.
looking because we looked at it as, here comes the haymaker. You're about to knock him out. Oh, you gave him a noogie, and you're pretty much saying that you don't want to even try anymore, but you just, you know, made me feel as if you were working at the gym all this time for this this main event. And so it's puzzling to us.
Yeah.
But as a person in the corporate world, they're just like, we just fucked y'all up.
Yeah.
Xbox is looking at Sony like, we just fucking gave you guys, we put you guys in the fucking figure 4 leg lock, and you can't get out. Like, you have to pay me. As much as you dodged paying me, as much as you went around and made sure people couldn't give me a way to get, you know, paid by getting their games and stuff, now you must talk to me. Now we are locked in the same room, and Mr. Beast got the key, and we don't trust him.
Mr. Beast, huh? Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, so as for us fanboys that were sitting there like, haha, you don't get the game, and you know, back and forth for years and whatnot, Xbox sat back and said, you know what, we're done playing this kind of like sandbox game that Nintendo and Sony's trying to do, where we have our own little castles over here. You know what, I'm gonna buy the beach, and you're gonna play in that sand, and you're not gonna be able to do anything about it because we own the beach. And sure, everybody's not gonna like it, but if they leave, guess what? They still got to play on my beach. So if you leave and go to PlayStation, guess what?
Yeah.
You want to play Call of Duty? Welcome to the beach.
You're so right, and I think that's the funniest way to put it, because it's like, because what you're talking about is with Call of Duty, right? PlayStation's going to still make pretty much the same amount of money off of Call of Duty being on their platform that they ever have before. But now the 70% that they weren't getting that was going to Activision is now going to their like direct rival who they've hated for a long time. That's like, imagine if your rent, nothing changed with it, but all of a sudden it started going to like your high school bully. You'd feel different about paying that bill though, right?
I don't know. Rufus used to beat my ass. I don't know
if I want. And then you move to a different apartment. He owns that one too.
Rufus is prosperous.
What do you mean he owns Starfield too? What do you mean he owns his Indiana Jones apartment too?
Yeah,
Like-
because I mean, haven't you noticed, in the last few years, the whole thirst of Xbox players have kind of been quenched when it comes to games. Like, we have an idea of a lot that's coming out compared to last generation, where it was like, are they even doing anything?
Yeah,
Over there. We have that to the like Xbox has that to the point that now PlayStation is salivating. And now that they're salivating, Microsoft's like, gotcha, bitch. Seriously, it's like that, because it's like, now you're salivating for what we have, and you didn't think you could get it, but now you're able to get it. And this is where Daniel was right in this portion. Them continuously paying Microsoft to be able to have their games over there, and then people buy, so Microsoft gets a chunk of each purchase of each game, only means the Xbox loyalist, the Xbox actual ecosystem player will have more games to be able to play, whether they go to PlayStation or not, because they're getting a constant flow of funding. So, I mean, it's better in the sense of longevity. Is it good in the sense of, I don't like my neighbor and I don't want him to be able to shop at the same mall that I shop at? In that sense, it's not great. Nah, man, the Bloods is welcoming with the Crips. Sorry. But at the same time, it's just like the government. The government don't care if you what side you on. Just pay the taxes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't care. You could be the half blood, half Crip for all they care.
Yeah.
Pay the taxes.
The IRS is neither Democrat nor Republican. They're here for the money.
That's what these businesses are for, man. And as soon as you realize that it's the same way with all these sports and stuff like that. Like look at the Lakers. They will absolutely pay top dollar just to be the talk of the town. They don't care if they're great. I mean, they do to a point, right? But like they gotta have their name in the news, or else they're not the Lakers anymore. Same with the Cowboys. The Cowboys ain't been good in fucking 30 years.
They do like okay, and then they just die in the playoffs every time.
But they gotta be in the news. And if they're not in the news for the players, somebody in the organization's gonna get in the news, and whether it's good or bad, they're in the news.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same story, different corporation, different business, same thing though.
I think you guys both nailed it really well. My biggest takeaway from it, because and we'll wrap it up here, because I don't want to delve too deep into it, because you guys get it. For me, and I've said this before, Danny, you may remember I was talking about how I've kind of changed my mindset when it comes to Xbox exclusives and such now, right?
Yeah. Well, because you're a PC guy now.
I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but it's true. Like, the more I've played on PC, the less I have cared about Xbox games going over to PlayStation. And it kind of opened up my mind, really, because I would have before been like, Xbox, come on, you're giving all the games away over there. I would have had that kind of, tribalistic view too. But now I don't anymore. And I see this as you guys said, it's a business decision that works for them, because though they may not be selling hardware as well, They have the MAUs down. They have, you know, the software sales and such like that are going in that direction they needed to go in. They're outdoing PlayStation even in that regard. So I see this as a move that not only did they had to make rather, because as hardware has slowed down for them, this is another way for them to get that revenue. Two, we knew that Xbox overhead was kind of forcing their hand in a way. So this is like something they had to capitulate to. 3, Disney. We've talked about this before as well. Disney, I always felt a little weird, and it was contention around that anyway, as we all remember with the whole situation with Indiana Jones, where people were like, is it going to be exclusive? And everybody was wondering. And then they finally said, yeah, it's going to be exclusive. But before that, we had no idea, and that largely was because Disney wants their ROI, and we know that's how they work, and we get it. It's a big time IP. I get it. They want their money back, right? And we've seen how it works with Sony now with Spider-Man and Wolverine. They want all their money back. They have a specific outline of what they have to earn and sail through to get that. Sony did. So in my head, I was already kind of weary of Indiana Jones, and many of us were. Then finally, I look at it also as this is not an original IP from Xbox. So this doesn't even really bother me. The more I looked at it, it was more like, why do I care? Why would this even bother me? I will say this, and we'll wrap it up, is if this had been a major tentpole IP, a Halo, a Forza, then Gears, then I'd be like, because I think there is some room still for exclusivity. That exclusivity still matters for some things, and
I agree.
It's like you can't get rid of every reason to have an Xbox, because if it's all on PlayStation, you do defeat the purpose after a point of having to get an Xbox. That much is just true. There's no getting around it, because if I can get everything over there, why would I come to you? PlayStation games are not over here, but I can get everything of yours over there. It makes PlayStation de facto Steam of consoles in that way. So there are certain things they can't cross a line on, I feel, but games like Indiana Jones is not the one that's going to do it. That's not going to hurt them. So ultimately, I think we're all in agreement, and I think the chat is too. Looking at the chat, I think it's not harmful in any way. It's going to be a little salty for our console warriors for certain, especially those who've been making all those memes and stuff and mocking the PlayStation guys, because now those roosters have come home to come to roost, as they would say, I guess. But other than that, outside of that, this is not a bad thing. And I know it's a lot of doom and gloom around that I've seen around about it, and a lot of people are upset, but I don't think they need to be for this, genuinely.
It's a bad thing depending on who you are, right?
Yeah.
And why you're gaming, I guess.
Yeah,
like that's
true.
I'm not gaming because I'm not only gaming because I like Xbox. Like if I were to just say something that's not real right now, if Xbox were to absolutely stop, like just cease to exist, I would still be a gamer. So like I can't put too much weight or too much trust into these companies, because my favorite shit before Xbox even existed was Sega. I already went through it. I'm still a gamer. So so Xbox could be around for another 100 years, and they could come out with half-ass consoles or whatever, or they can come out with a banger or whatever. Regardless, I'm still going to be a gamer. Or they could just stop. Same with PlayStation, same with Nintendo. Somebody will always, like in my opinion, there'll always be somebody interested enough to make a device made for having fun. And if there's enough fun to be had, I'm there.
Yeah, that's ultimately it. And I don't want to be kumbaya. I don't want anybody to mistake any of us for. I don't think any of us are like, hey, just more people play is that slogan. What's the slogan they use?
When we all play, we all win.
When we all play, we all win, and all that.
When everyone plays, we all win. It's something. It's
something along that lines. Yeah, like we're none of us are on that type of time. Like, I'm not like, yeah, PlayStation get all of the Xbox stuff. I'm not thinking like that. It's just
I'd be fine with them getting all of the Xbox stuff, but you have to time it out right. You know what I mean? Like, I think Xbox can give them a couple of things now, and then once PlayStation starts giving them some more stuff, then they start like because I do think PlayStation is going to start putting more and more stuff on Xbox. I think we're already seeing that. So I think as that starts, like, you can't put Halo on PlayStation until like God of War or something.
Yeah, something major
are also coming to Xbox.
I agree with that. That I would agree. Like, it has to be some type of equivalency here. Got to be some equal exchange here. We can't just be like, here, take our tentpole game that made Xbox here for nothing.
I think you're I feel like you guys are missing the point of what Xbox is trying to do, bud.
What's that?
I 100% think at this point now that we will eventually, like, maybe not this generation, but possibly next generation, see like your Halo, Gears, or whatever, or go over there. But the thing is I don't see them doing anything different Microsoft wise than they didn't do versus Mac. And what I mean by that is, remember Mac or Apple or whatever you want to call them, back in the day when they were going head to head at it, right? And then Microsoft themselves they were making their own PCs and stuff like that. They had a Gateway, and they were going versus all these other people, Hewlett Packard, Compaq, IBM, like all these different companies and shit like that. And then eventually they just stopped while all those other companies continued, especially like Hewlett Packard. They continued making computers and stuff like that. What did they transition to? The Surface Pro. Is the Surface Pro the most phenomenal computer of all time? No. Can you buy a good version of it? Sure. But can you get their software, Windows, anywhere else? If you want to, sure. But if you want to just stay ecosystem specific, I feel like Xbox is just turning into a Surface.
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. And
yeah, I'm not sure
I don't think it is a thing at all. I think it is more or less the only thing that I would say to be nervous about is if at some point, like, PlayStation like makes a like PC or something like that, but and has their own software and stuff like that, and then everybody's buying PlayStation as a PC and not using Windows and stuff anymore. But that's not gonna happen.
Sure, yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
The closest we've heard about that is that they're like trying to make a PlayStation launcher for PC. I think that was the closest, because they want to have their stuff on PC, but I think they just don't want to put it on Steam. And so I think that's we had heard something to that effect, but I don't see them making PC hardware, because that's already kind of what the console is.
Yeah, but you already use like Windows and stuff like I mean, sure, you don't have to,
well,
but like
Linux if you're a psychopath.
Yeah. If you're a psychopath, you could you can try something else, right? You can try some of that black market shit. But like But like, if you're a regular person, you're still using Windows, and I'm sure Microsoft looks at that and says, PlayStation already uses our software and stuff like that. Like, what if we just start giving them our games and stuff like that? Sure, we'll make still hardware and whatnot, but it'll be hardware for people that want to be in our ecosystem, and they can, as long as they're still just putting stuff on the Steam, we'll make a hardware thing, but it's just revolved around Windows, kind of like what their phone idea was. It was supposed to be revolved all around Windows and everything like that. And that's why they're pissy about getting rid of the phone, because they could have had this whole infrastructure kind of done already. But instead, they, but instead they're on this road of like, in my opinion, they're on this road of just complete complete reorganization.
I definitely agree
And
with that. They're definitely changing some things up.
for sure, and I think it's for the better for them, but it's also I'm not saying it's for the better for us. I'm saying it's for the better for them because then they can kind of tie in everything together, and I think that's the whole plan: is to tie everything together, make a Xbox centric like UI for a console that's still running on Windows and everything like that, and then and then become just kind of a PC market.
Well, I believe there are some truths to that specifically because we already heard the rumors of Steam being on the next Xbox and things like that. So I think there is some truth to that. I mean, I will say this too, and we said this before: is Xbox is they're not playing a traditional game anymore. They're not doing what Sony is doing, and I think that's what's been the toughest part for Xbox guys to kind of adjust to. A lot of the hardcore, right? They've been kind of like, wait a minute, this is not how this is supposed to work. But because they're used to the traditional methods of how consoles have handled, or at least publishers rather have handled consoles and things like that in gaming. So it's just different. It's a different change. It's a change rather that I don't know if they've all adjusted to or if they're willing to adjust to. So some guys get frustrated and try to write Xbox off immediately because of it, and some just adjust. And I am at the stage, and it sounds like you guys are too, of adjustment, where it's like, okay, hey, it is what it is. I get it. This is a business move. They're not, as Everborn, I think, mentioned it the other day, and shout out to Pixel. I see you in the chat, brother. Pixel and Everborn were on Boom's podcast the other day, put in the clinic. They're not talking to me, as Everborn, I think, said it perfectly right. They're not, the message that they're putting out there is not directly speaking to me or maybe you guys. They're looking at the next batch of Xbox guys, I guess, right? And either we are part of that or we're not. And I think they're going to make their money one way or another. I'm just looking at it as, where can I best find the games I want to play, where I want to play it? And now PC has seemed to be that place for me in a lot of these cases, because as games have advanced, a lot of them are so advanced that they just don't play right on console anyway. So I'm kind of like, whatever, I'll just move to PC. So the thought of kind of, putting a wall garden, I guess, for games hasn't even affected me anymore. That's the best way I can put it. I'm not trying to sound enlightened or anything. It just hasn't bothered me as much anymore. So, but I do get those who feel the way they feel. I used to feel that way too. I'm just out of that, It is what it is. But I do realize not everybody can afford to just get a PC too. So it's different, But I think once that starts to happen and they become more affordable, or when Xbox does put Steam on it, I think people will even adjust then. If the next Xbox does in fact have Steam and they have the handheld like we're thinking of, it's been rumored to have, I think it's going to be a strong resurgence for Xbox next gen for sure, personally. But that's just me. But either way, family in the chat, thank you guys for being here with us. We appreciate you. Could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. We thank you. If you have not done so, hit the like button. We're going to get out of here, and I'll start with our guest, Ham Solo. Ham, thank you for being here with us, brother. We could not have Post join us, unfortunately. He got caught up with some things, so he couldn't make it. But you came through. You preached. You laid it down. You gave us some things to contemplate and think on. Tell the good folks where they can find you and what you'll be up to.
All right, so yeah, I appreciate the invite. Thanks for having me here with you guys today, and letting me ramble on about my thoughts and all that stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in what I've been spitting, or just want to check me out, you can see me on my channel here on YouTube, TSWS Gaming. Check me out over there. I do 3 live shows a week minimum. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on Thursdays, I pretty much stream every Thursday of college football. But But those 3 days, we're just talking about things that are happening around gaming or important news if it comes up. Sometimes, we talk about some things that don't always have to do with gaming, but that's only on Monday. On Monday is the day where we sometimes are okay branching outside of gaming, but Wednesday is the lowdown. So Monday's everything in gaming. Wednesday is the lowdown with me and Loke. We just talk about what's been going on in gaming up to that point of the week. And then Friday, we do the full panel show with me, Loke, my channel partner, and then Matt Likes Games, Cozy Beluga, and a guest, and Mental 9R as well. So yeah, come through, check us out. That's where you'll see me at least 3 times a week. But I appreciate you guys for having me. Thanks again.
Nice. Yeah, check our brother out. He got a lot of things popping, big things popping, little things stopping. Let me stop. Friday, join him Friday tomorrow, of course, for the whole cast on the TSWS gaming. It's always fun to listen to you guys. I've jumped in a few times with you. We've had some of the best talks, I think, actually on your show.
Yeah, some pretty wild. Like I remember we did that. I had Hargeet there. Sante. I had a bunch of people come through, and we talked about what wasn't it like? It was like some racism kind of thing.
It was a lot of race relation discussion. It was about, I think, Assassin's Creed at that time or something like that, and it played into things. It was a really strong discussion. I think it's underrated. I don't think a lot of people saw it, unfortunately, and they should have, because I think we had a really good discussion.
Conversation.
Oh yeah, it was a great conversation. Personally, I thought it was important. But yeah, brother, thank you again for coming through. Danny, my brother from another co-star extravaganza. Tell the good folks, great takes, of course, as usual. Tell the good folks where they can find you and what you'll be up to.
You can find me on Twitter at Daniel J. McG or at my personal YouTube channel, Daniel McG. This weekend's going to be a fun one. We're celebrating my 30th birthday on Saturday. My sisters are throwing me a party that they just told me during the show is going to somehow be Survivor themed.
Oh,
so
nice.
I guess we'll see what that means. I'll let you know on Thursday.
They're gonna starve you first and have you scavenge for food and stuff.
Oh, if it literally just means we didn't get food for the party, I'll laugh so hard.
Yeah, so you gotta go find and scavenge the food to cook for the event.
They're like, we hid chicken fingers around the backyard.
But where?
But where are they? I don't know, man. It'll be fun. I'll let you know if it sucks.
All right, man.
Stay tuned, audience.
Stay tuned. Next, same bet channel, same bet time. And for myself, folks, you can find me Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. You'll find me either way. And Tuesdays, of course, Xbox Factor with Boom. Thursdays, of course, with me and Danny and possibly guests. Oftentimes solo dolo for us. And Sunday now, for at least I think the next 2 weeks, is the Infinite Podcast at 2 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Eastern rather, 2 o'clock Central Time. Because Riskett is overseas in Spain and I think in Germany. I'm not sure if he made it over there yet, actually, but he was in Spain just last week, so he might still be there. So come by and check us out if you guys are free. We appreciate you. And we'll get out of here. You guys have a great night. Don't fight, and everything will be all right. I don't know why I'm rhyming. But yeah.
Sounds like a Dolomite exit.
Yeah, right. Later, guys.